Sunday afternoon, welcome to Optus Stadium, AFL Round 9. The West Coast Eagles take on Melbourne. Of course, the Eagles, well, they're desperate for any kind of good performance. They're on the bottom of the ladder, and the D's, they are flying. They are second, but still undefeated. If they win today, they'll go back to the top of the table. Tommy Atkinson in the chair. Lockie Reed's not too far away. Andrew Embley is here, but Embers, welcome to you. Xavier Ellis, spicy cough laid out.
Where is Xavier Ellis?
What's going on?
Oh, I'll tell you what, I've been watching his socials a little bit, and he looks like he's having a lot of fun at home.
Did you see the one with him naked on a horse?
It's a disgusting sight, Tom.
It is.
It absolutely, it gave me shivers.
Shivers?
Yes.
How many times did you watch it?
I watched it a couple of times, actually. Well, it started with his beautiful partner, and she was doing it, and then he jumped on and started jumping on this rocking horse, and looks like they're trying to kill some time. They've got 7 days stuck inside with some 6 children, and I
couldn't think of anything worse.
What's that, being stuck inside
with 6 children? So Xavier, he gets a leave pass, of course. You know, struck down with the spicy cough. No problems. He can't make it in. We don't want him in here if he's got it. The big question is, where is our spiritual leader?
Well, I heard that it's a special day for our spiritual leader today.
For Lachlan. Of course, Lockie Reed, normally in the chair.
Yes. Where is Lockie?
I'm not sure. Now, we know it's his birthday. For the listeners out there, it's Lockie's 50th birthday today.
It's a big milestone for Lockie.
But what we're not sure is what happened last night, because he is normally right on time.
You reckon he's gone out and celebrated last night?
I reckon he might have been with... just saw the memories of the hippie club and just shipped off there for a couple of Chardonnays.
It is his 50th birthday, so if there's every chance he might have been able to go out and have a couple last night. He's a massive Melbourne supporter.
Yeah.
Probably going to think it's quite an easy game for his mob today. So
just rock up
you
last
reckon
minute.
He's actually just sort of taken the mickey a bit?
No, he'll be here. I think Locke's just at a lunch running a fraction late. So he'll be here shortly. Of course, he'll be taking control of proceedings. But what do you make of this afternoon? Do the Eagles have any chance to get within 100 points of Melbourne?
Well, it's going to be a very tough ask for the West Coast Eagles. They are a very young, inexperienced side. Josh Kennedy is laid out, so unfortunately for West Coast, they haven't got their key forward inside forward 50, but that midfield battle is just going to be crucial, and we know that Luke Shuey's not there. No Yo, no Sheed, and these young kids at the moment, unfortunately, just aren't winning enough football through there. Redden plays game 250, big job up against Clayton Oliver or Petrarca. Tim Kelly's going to be in there, but geez, West Coast is just going to find it really difficult to get the game played in their forward half. I think that's going to be the issue for the Eagles today. I think you keep it really simple in there. You go man on man. Okay, Jamison and Bailey Williams got a big job with Gawn and Jackson, so they just go and compete. If I'm Adam Simpson, I'm just saying, just go and play on someone. Just follow them around. They're going to take you to the footy today.
This is the Triple M footy preview for TaylorMade Golf, the all-new stealth driver from TaylorMade, with a 60-layer carbon face that delivers unparalleled distance and forgiveness. I thought last week against Brisbane, they measured up in all the key stats, apart from the inside 50 counts. I reckon they competed more. They just seemed to lack the skills and the finish to be able to find targets, and they got burnt on the turnover. Well,
composure's a big thing for West Coast right now, and you said, effort is something that you can bring, all right? You don't have to be an A-grader to bring effort, all right? So West Coast is certainly, there was moments in that game last week where they certainly took it up to Brisbane and they tried, and as you said, some of the stats were quite equal, but when they turn the footy over, they do get hurt the other way. And I think one of the great challenges for young sides, and West Coast are a very young, inexperienced team right now, is to be able to maintain your intensity for longer against the good sides. And Melbourne would be aware that West Coast will come out, they'll throw 5 or 10 minutes into the first quarter. If Melbourne can actually sort of steady that, then you expect that Melbourne will get on top after that, because they're a terrific team, the Demons, coming back to a ground where they've got great memories. And when you can play at a high level like Melbourne can do so consistently for such a long time now, then it just makes it really difficult for sides to be able to match them.
Trevor Nisbet said in a story during the week, and Simo said it as well, it's taking a while for the players to get used to the new game plan. Do you stick with the new game plan now, at this part of the season, or do you throw it out the window and just go back to some old-fashioned
What is the new game plan?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Get belted by 100 points. Now, obviously, they're trying to move the ball.
They're trying to move a bit quicker. That's
Yeah.
just the way the game's gone at the moment. So obviously with the new stand mark, man of the mark sort of stand rule, it allows players to be able to get
They
that
got
handball
caught out a bit
from behind.
last year with that.
They did. They
Yeah.
definitely did. And they want to move it a bit quicker. And certainly as forwards, when the ball is moving quicker, it gives you more opportunities to get yourself in the game. But unfortunately right now, with the amount of injuries that West Coast have got and players being unavailable through ISO, it's the biggest challenge during the week for West Coast is trying to fill the side, getting players out there. And I think when they're out there, I think all you can ask for now is just effort.
So you would say, forget about the game plan. Let's simplify it and go one-on-one. You take that hit.
You keep it pretty simple. Of course, there's things that you want to do with your ball movement, but it comes from mine right now, getting numbers around the contest, putting pressure on, laying some really strong tackles. You have to win the tackle count. It's quite simple every week, especially if the opposition is going to get more footy than you. Then win the tackle account and at least walk off the ground knowing that you've given it your absolute all.
Jared Schofield from the Eagles not too far away. We'll find out what's wrong with Josh Kennedy. He's a laid out, and Patrick Naish is coming in. He'll be the sub. So resting JK this week as opposed to an away game?
Yeah, well, obviously there was a little bit of talk that he was a bit sore and pulled up sore from the game. So it's a tough one because JK is sort of coming towards the end of his career, and he probably, he's a guy that wants to be out there. He doesn't miss training sessions. JK play every game, and you're a long time retired as well. So unfortunately, right now, when we say West Coast are resting players, well, they're not resting players for finals, and this will be JK's last year. So he obviously is quite sore if he hasn't pulled up for the game.
We'll talk about Jack Redden shortly playing game number 250, and of course we'll get down to Jared Schofield in a second. But right now for Bob Jane T-Marts, let's go inside the Melbourne Footy Club. At Bob Jane T-Marts, buy a set of 4 Monster wheels and off-road tyres and enters to win an Austrac Telegraph X-Camper trailer. Let's go downstairs to Josh.
Adam, thanks so much for joining us here at Optus Stadium. Pretty safe to say happy hunting grounds the last time you were here. Do you even broach it approaching another game at Optus Stadium?
Yeah, the boys are excited to play here, and we looked at some photos from last year, last night in our team meeting, just to embrace our second home. We played some good finals footy here last year, and 2 amazing games in a prelim and a granny, so some fond memories, and looking forward to another good game today.
And West Coast not doing so well this season. How do you sort of temper complacency in a team that's been so successful like your own?
Yeah, well, we want to respect our opposition, so they've been good in some quarters and patches of games, so they've still got 12 premiership players in their team, so we're going to respect our opposition, but we're just going to get over and hopefully play our way. Hopefully our supporters back at home can be really proud of the way that we play and play to our system, so we're looking forward to it.
Adam, Andrew Embley, when it comes to winning grand finals, you always hear players at the start of the season, they talk about premiership hangover and they say it's not going to happen to us. Just looking at your club at the moment, it really looks like that you're on a mission right now. Was there something spoken at the start of the year about that, though?
Goody was pretty open with getting to our boys and just getting them really honest with our pre-season. So he was pretty open with telling our players at round one it was irrelevant whether you had a premiership medal or not. It was just going to be open to whoever trained well and whoever come back and earned their spot. So we're really fortunate that we've got a lot of pressure from underneath. We've got some good players in good form that can't get a game, and that's holding us in good stead.
And you mentioned that, and certainly in the off-season when I saw some of the socials going around, sometimes you see players on holidays and enjoying themselves, but every time I looked at Melbourne Football Clubs, it was Luke Jackson training really hard, it was Brayshaw training really hard. So obviously it's something that the playing group is really driving at the moment.
Yeah, they've been terrific. So our leaders have led the way with that. They're off-season, they're training together and things like that. So they're really driven. So they really like winning, and we're not sick of it just yet. So the boys are enjoying it, and they do. They've got some high standards and they train really well. So hopefully they can put on a show today.
You're pretty fortunate to have 2 of the most dominant ruckmen in the competition, both in your side, in Gawn and Jackson. Just the ratio between forward and ruck, is that something that they talk about on the ground? Is it run by Goody? Who organises that?
Yeah, no, they the rotation out on the ground they do together. So Gorney will get a feel. If he feels like he's going okay in the forward line, he might just stay there and send Jacko into the ruck. But the only structured rotation is how we start each quarter. So Jacko normally starts the game off, but then after that, once we establish the patterns of the game, we'll work out, and we're giving him some exposure to start certain quarters as well now. So they're both in really good form, and we're blessed to have them both.
Adam, tell us more about Luke Jackson's form this year. Of course, had such a great start last year, and there's been so much made over him about a possible return to WA. How have you seen his progression from last year to this year?
Yeah, well, he obviously plays two roles, so trying to become the best forward he can be as a key forward, and then obviously we know his strengths around the ground and his follow-up in the ruck. So, it's a fine balance of trying to work hard on both, but we understand his strengths, and we know that can take a little bit of time, but we're really happy with his progression, and he's a really exciting player for our footy club.
I watched your game last week closely. A couple of guys I think are probably underrated for most people in Spargo and Sparrow. They just seem to run all day both ways.
Yeah, and you probably could put Alex Neal-Bullen in that category as well. So they're, I think, outside our four walls they're underrated, but within our four walls at the footy club and in our reviews they get highlighted a lot for their constant work rate and their team first attitude. So we love those three especially.
You reckon Jake Bowie's thinking how easy is AFL football right now, Adam?
Yeah, it would be nice to start your career that way. And but in all seriousness, though, he trained so hard on his game, and he had some things that he had to work on early last year because we could see his talent. But yeah, he's slotted in nicely, and same sort of thing. Like we've got Christian Salem and Michael Hibbert and some really good halfbacks that need to come back into the team. So he needs to perform well every week. Otherwise, his spot might be in jeopardy. So that's the type of pressure our players are under. And we're really happy with the way Bowers is going.
Just love the way the boys go about it around the contest at the moment. Of course, you've got A-graders going through there, but it's a very selfless effort from everyone at the moment. You hunt the footy, you put pressure on, you get the game played in your forward half, which obviously gives you a chance for your forwards to kick a winning score. Yeah,
and we do. We try to share the load as well. So we like to get Cozzy Pickett into a centre bounce and get those small forwards an opportunity in the centre as well. So, our whole philosophy is around a collective effort, and we don't expect Clayton and Track to own the centre bounce or the midfield time for the whole game. So we expect an even I suppose we're just trying to share the load. So sorry about that. I was just watching the game in front of me.
Yes, it looks like a ripper, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be an all-in brawl. So, but you're right. It's good that you can see that they are selfless because we really pushed that at the start of last year, and hopefully that continues.
And you got the opportunity to sit in the hot seat just recently with Simon Goodwin being out. How did you enjoy that experience?
Yeah, it was good fun. And to be fair, like the game day stuff, because Goody sits on the bench, the game day stuff was really similar to what our roles were, and we tried to keep that really similar. But, the obviously is opportunity to present to the players and set a theme for the week. It was something that I really enjoyed, and it was good to have a good win against my old team.
Adam, there's probably a couple of senior jobs at the end of the season that might be available. Do you start looking at that now? How do you plan for that? Is that something that you want to do as early as next year?
Oh, it's not something I look at, and I don't plan for. If those discussions come up later in the year, I'll decide on whether it's a good fit for myself. But my whole job is I've got a fair few roles at the footy club with stoppages and offence and things like that. So I just want to be the best in the role that I'm doing right now, and be the best coach I can be from the players. And if those things eventuate later in the year, I'll have a think about it and then put my mind to it later in the year. But loving what I'm doing.
Adam, thanks for joining us. Good luck this afternoon.
No worries, guys. Anytime.
Adam Uze down there on the boundary with Josh Garlop. And, of course, this is the Triple M footy preview for TaylorMade Golf. The all-new Stealth driver from TaylorMade with a 60-layer carbon face that delivers unparalleled distance and forgiveness. Embers, you hitting a golf ball at the moment?
No, I'm not actually. I do like my golf, but with 3 young children, it's very difficult to find the time to play golf.
But you'd be using a TaylorMade though, right?
Always TaylorMade, yes.
Beautiful. Jump on board.
Good TaylorMade.
Games early today. The Dockers lost by 36 points up to the Gold Coast. Not a great result for them. And the state game earlier on just wrapped up just then. South Australia knocking off WA by 4 points. Jared Schofield from the West Coast Eagles not too far away. Lockie Reed, he'll be here shortly. The Beast. Got some big news about the Beast coming up, and of course Embers will be on doing the special comments for Seabus Super. McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks Footy.
The Triple M footy preview for the all-new Stealth Driver from TaylorMade with a 60-layer carbon face that delivers unparalleled distance and forgiveness.
From Ream Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks footy.
Triple M rocks footy in 3.5 minutes. Three minutes. Two minutes. One minute. Thirty seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
3M rocks footy.
The Triple M footy preview. The all-new Stealth Driver from TaylorMade with a 60-layer carbon face that delivers unparalleled distance and forgiveness.
AFL Round 9, we are at Optus Stadium and just over half an hour before the bounce. West Coast taking on Melbourne. Let's hope we get a very good game. Now, Embers, we are talking before about the great man Lockie Reed, of course, our spiritual leader. We thought he might have had a big night last night.
Not to be.
Well, I tell you what, he's just come in the room. That shirt he has on screams Hippie Club, Lockie. Happy birthday, mate. It's good to have you in the box.
Thank you very much, gents. Yes, sorry I'm late. When the buffet is opened up, the lockman just unleashes and... Well, it was buffet or come here at 2:30. Said no, bugger the buffet with
buffet.
lots of,
what's your buffet kind of go-to kind of system? Are you just take as much as you can? Or
No. So I've learnt from a lot of buffets over the years to take it slowly, Embers. And so you start with just the little stuff. I had about 6 plates today, and they were little stuff into the roast and then the sweets at the end. So
you got to stay away from the bread.
No, I didn't have bread.
Yeah.
Good decision.
I agree with that. The bread fills you up,
Yeah.
and you don't want to be filled up when you go to a buffet, especially early.
So you start with the prawns.
Yeah.
Something
Start
cold
with the
to start
mussels.
with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really nice.
You go for all the stuff that you can't afford to eat at home.
Correct.
Lobster,
Yeah, that's right.
caviar.
That was good fun.
Happy
Good fun.
birthday.
What did
Thank
you
you
get?
very much.
What did you get?
Got lots of little bits and pieces. Some tracksuit pants that Xavier Ellis would wear. So, like
Big ones.
Extra
crappy
large.
ones, that sort of stuff. And then some sort of fancy ones, like, really ridgy-dig,
Well,
teenager type stuff.
you'd be pleased to know Embers gave me a call yesterday and said it's Locke's birthday, so we've
Present.
got to get him a present.
Yeah,
And I
yes.
thought,
Yeah.
don't worry, I'm already on it.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Now, of course, you'd be more not happy to know
Yep.
we left it at home.
Oh, that's always the excuse, isn't it? The people that forget the present go, oh, yeah, it's at home. Sorry, I'll bring it tomorrow.
Tommy's already asked me 3 times to transfer the money to his bank account for the birthday present, and there's no present here.
Present. Mate, the best present you could give me, Embers, is just be with me in the commentary box on a Sunday afternoon.
You know what? I think the best present you can get is watching your team, Melbourne, here in front of
Off
West
the
Coast, and
stadium.
probably winning by 100 points today.
Are they playing West Coast?
They are playing
I
West
thought it was
Coast.
the Subiaco Reserve.
Yeah,
but
well,
anyway.
Pretty close to it. I
Their
think,
waffle
but
team didn't have enough numbers.
No. So the East Fremantle players
Yeah.
played against their own teammates
Yeah.
for West Coast.
It's like under 12 stuff.
That is a concern,
Yes.
isn't it, for
Yeah.
the competition?
Oh, absolutely.
That takes a
Yes.
huge chunk out of the competition's reputation.
But when they can only just field an AFL team, how are they going to be able to field a waffle
But
team?
surely they could have gone to like some A-grade amateurs and get some quality A-grade amateurs, at least to fill in, than
Yeah.
steal 2 players from the opposition team.
It sounds like that.
It's under 14 stuff.
The A-grade amateurs don't want to be part of it. They're playing good football at the moment in the A-grade competition. You could maybe go and get a B grade or a C grade, but sounds like that players don't want to go and play a one-off game, even though it is waffle football, for
Yeah.
a side that are just feelings at the moment.
Let's straighten up a touch. You must be very excited. Luke Jackson,
Yes.
back in his home state, your man, Ember's man. Are you expecting a big game tonight, knowing the West Coast Eagles are going to
Yeah.
come knocking?
Look, I'm really surprised Max Gawn is playing in this game. Whether he's got an injury or not, he's obviously got some sort of issue with his knee. Went for scans during the week. He's jumped on a 4-hour flight to come over and play with Melbourne. Now, I like the attitude. Win at all
Love the
costs.
message, yes.
Take on the message. But this
Yep.
is a 30, 31-year-old ruckman that is the most important player in your team. If you really don't need him, then don't bring him. And also, it gives a chance for Luke Jackson to finally play maybe 90 minutes of a game of footy in the ruck and see and strut his stuff. Maybe, though, Melbourne don't want Luke Jackson to play 90 minutes because they don't want West Coast to see how good he is.
Maybe, but I love the message from Max Gawn to say, listen, I might not be 100% fit, but I want to play. Okay, Max he lost a lot of games
Yeah.
for Melbourne for over a long period of time. Now they're starting to have some success. He wants to be a part of it. I'm sure when you see the well Melbourne are going about it at the moment, they don't want to be a team that wins one grand final and doesn't get near it going forward. So they want to be out there. They don't want to not play, and they're certainly playing accordingly.
How many games in a row should you play until, when you're an ageing player? So we see Shannon Hearn, I know they say a little calf niggle. He's been rested.
Yep.
He was supposed to be rested last week, JK this week. Now they're resting both of them in the 1 week because they couldn't get enough players last week.
Yeah.
How many games in a row do you think for the older players before you do go, oh, look, maybe we just give them 1 game off just to rest them up?
Horses for courses, I think, but it's when you have a look at the older boys, as we know, they do start to sort of, those niggles, they probably start to happen a little bit more when you get to a certain age, especially past 30. So maybe 4 or 5 games, I reckon. If they're sore after a month, I think it's time to put him in cotton wool for a little bit.
So we'll see Maxie. He'll play forward a lot, I reckon, today.
Yeah.
He'll slide
You reckon?
forward. He won't
Well,
ruck as much as he usually does.
The other thing too is with West Coast now sides absolutely pumping them, it's getting a bit tight at the top, and that percentage, like
Yeah.
Brisbane pumped them last week, could be a huge thing come the back end of the year.
Yeah, so Melbourne want to win by more than what Brisbane beat
Yeah,
West
100
Coast by. That
100
would be
plus.
their aim.
And-
And I'll tell you what, if I'm Simon Goodwin, I would be showing them the 2018 prelim final first half and saying everyone was laughing at you then.
Yes.
You didn't score a goal in the first half. Let's turn the tide and make sure West Coast don't score a goal in the first half.
Oh, it'll be foot on throat today for Melbourne. They won't go easy on West Coast, no doubt about that. The weather is actually pretty good. We've had some rain here, but conditions look really good. Won't get any rain for the rest of the game. So I expect Melbourne to really take it up to West Coast.
Well, it's a big job for West Coast. Let's go downstairs and find out from Jared Schofield exactly what has happened to Josh Kennedy.
I'm here with West Coast assistant coach Jared Schofield. Jared, inroads made against Brisbane last week. What's been the message amongst the group this week, building towards another sort of new group?
Yeah, well, we were happy with certain parts of our game. It's about being able to sustain it for longer periods, and against the best sides you have to. But we felt there was a lot of learnings to take out of it. Obviously we didn't capitalise early as what we should, and that's probably been part of our reviewing process. But yeah, look, we'll take the learnings. We'll try and obviously keep growing as a group this week. Once again, a few changes, and we'll go to work today against a quality side.
Tough run on the fixture, facing the reigning premiers now at home. How do you slow them down?
Well, you just got to compete for as long as you can, and that's what we're asking of our players today, is to go in with a belief, that they're human. Obviously, they're a side that hasn't lost a game in 15 games, I think it is. They're the reigning premiers, so for a reason. And if we can execute our roles, compete as long as we can, and just keep building on our system and continuity in that, well, then we'll hopefully give ourselves a chance to be in the game.
Scully, it's Embers. How's the morale in the group at the moment, buddy?
Yeah, it's actually really good. Look, obviously it's disappointing, the win-loss record at the moment, the way the season's gone. I think, our reality is that, we're a bit undermanned with our A-graders or our sort of best 22, but it's been given opportunities to the players that come in, obviously down to the next level of waffle players playing. So the spirit of the group and the mood of the group has been really positive in trying circumstances. But at the same time, as coaches, we made sure that we keep growing as a group. And there was parts of our game last week that we were happy with. There was parts of our game we need to improve. And when you're playing against the best sides, they don't let you off the hook. And unfortunately, the scoreboard reflected that late in the game last week. And we come against the reigning premiers, where it's going to be a big challenge for us.
You spoke about opportunities, and one of those guys was Callum Jamieson getting one last week, who I thought really stood up and gave his best and gets another opportunity against a couple of very good ruckmen this afternoon.
Yeah, look, Jamo's a guy, he's played 2 games of footy. He came in for his first game at the start of the year against North as a backman, and then he's played ruck and literally finished off in the ruck, and he'll start in the ruck for us for today. So, but he's one that just executes his role and just competes for as long as he can, and that's what we're asking for of our players, is just to be competitive.
So many A-graders in Melbourne's midfield, so probably hard to tag, but is an opportunity just for your mids to be able to go and match up against some of these guys and just take them on?
Yeah, definitely. We want guys to execute their roles. So we've got designated roles or described roles that we want of our players to play on, players obviously in their star-studded midfield. And knowing what their strengths are, knowing where we can try and exploit them is what we're going after, because we want our players to execute in team defence and Eagles ball. But at the same time, around the stoppages, that's where they've got quality. They've got Max Gawn, who's probably the premier ruckman in the competition, and you got Jackson that can obviously put it down their throat. So our guys have got to execute around stoppage, give ourselves half a chance there, and to start the competitive stuff and get the contest game going. But those guys have got roles. We won't be doing any shutdowns type of stuff like that, but they've got roles to execute, and that's what we're asking of our players.
Scully, Greg Clark a couple of weeks ago, first up, was very impressive. Now, the fans are here tonight. They want to see him go good again. Tell us about him. Obviously, you know a lot about him through watching back through the waffle.
Yeah, well, Greg's a great story. A guy that's missed out on a lot of drafts, had a few setbacks along the way, and has really matured as a footballer and as a human being along the way. And I obviously had the pleasure of coaching him way back in 2018, and he's gone now on an AFL list. But he's one that's had to work super hard for his spot on the list. He's professional. He doesn't leave anything to chance, and he just prepares himself in the right way of what we expect of all our players at AFL level. So it's a credit to him. And look, he'll be one of those guys in the midfield today that gets a close-up look against the best midfield in terms of obviously Petrarca and Oliver, these types.
What kind of player will he ultimately be? Is he inside, outside, a bit of both? What's the plan for Greg?
I think if he can get the balance between being able to play inside and outside, I think it will be where we want to take Greg. But look, if we had the likes of Shuey and Yo, these got Dom Sheed in there. Look, he's probably more playing on the outside as a wing, but can give us sort of bit of a chop out on the inside. But today we'll see probably a little bit more of him inside. But I think moving forward, if he can get the balance between playing inside and outside, a guy that's 94 kilos and 194 centimetres, I think it's going to be a real asset to us moving forward.
From a youngster to a veteran in Jack Redden, plays milestone game this afternoon. Over the past couple of seasons with Yo out and Shuey out and sort of COVID ripping through the club, he's been a stalwart and has been impressive for a long period of time.
Yeah, he has. Like even watching from afar, he's a quality player, and I think he even said in his own reflection video, they showed the boys that he came over as an inside mid and has had to probably play a little bit more outside, so he's had to develop his game, even with being so experienced as he is. And look, he's won even this season. That sort of had to carry a fair amount of the workload, with players being out. And he's someone that missed half a pre-season with a shoulder operation in the off-season. So he's been fantastic for the group. And we're really hoping, not hoping, we're going to make sure that we go out today and acknowledge that and play in the right way and play in the Reddo spirit.
You might not get the 4 points today, Scully, but when you walk off the ground, what can West Coast Eagles supporters expect to see from their side?
Well, I think if you just keep yourself in the game and compete for as long as we can and play the system that we want and don't deviate from that, even under the stressful times in the game when things might not be working, I think that's what we're asking for of our players, to just keep maturing, give ourselves the best chance. And look, this game is a funny one, and they do say the more wins you are, the closer you are to getting a loss. But hopefully today is for Melbourne, and today we'll walk away with the 4 points, and it'll be a good celebration for Reddo.
Josh Kennedy, laid out. Can you tell us about that one?
Yeah, look, we probably could have rested him probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. He's a stalwart and someone we wanted to rest. And unfortunately for him, he's just been pulling up a little bit sore week after week, and his knee just didn't quite come up. A little bit sore, a bit of soreness from last week, playing at the Gabba. So, unfortunately he didn't get up, and Hugh Dixon will come in.
Big job for Hugh then, back into the side.
Yeah, look, he'll take up a forward role and may pinch hit in the ruck, but he's performed for us when he's come into the side, so he gets his opportunity.
Beautiful. Thanks for joining us, Scully.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
He's a talent, isn't he, Jared Schofield? Media professional down there at West Coast.
Yeah, absolutely. No, he's he's been a senior coach at the Subiaco Footy Club. He does a lot of press conference. No, he's a coach in waiting, no doubt about it.
All right, we are 18 minutes away from the bounce here at Optus Stadium. The West Coast Eagles and Melbourne Demons. Can the Eagles put up a fight? And for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Lockie Reed, Andrew Wembley, Tommy Atkins, and the Beast not far away. Triple M rocks footy.
The Triple M footy preview for the all-new Stealth Driver from TaylorMade, with a 60-layer carbon face that delivers unparalleled distance and forgiveness.
For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks footy.
Till Triple M rocks footy. 3 minutes till Triple M rocks footy. Till Triple M rocks footy. Seconds till Triple M rocks footy. Seconds till Triple M rocks footy. Seconds till Triple M rocks footy.
Triple M rocks footy in 30 seconds. Twenty seconds. 10 seconds.
'Rocks footy.
This quarter for Beacon Trade, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert teams and a huge range of electrical products and services. Beacon makes every tradie's job easier.
The Demons are out on the ground here at Optus Stadium. We await the West Coast Eagles. Melbourne come to town. Well, they weren't top of the table, though they are the top of the table team members, but because of the round and where we're at, Brisbane sit at the top of the table. But we think by the end of this afternoon they might head back there. Welcome to everyone. Tommy Atkins is part of the commentary team. Joshy Garlip downstairs will be looking after the boundary. Of course, Joshy was probably the SPL basketball's finest ever player in 2010.
Very talented
I think he won
player.
the MVP.
Yeah, so I think he would have.
Yeah,
if he didn't, I think we go with it anyway.
Yeah, exactly
yes.
right. And he'll be part of the commentary team, of course, downstairs. And Mark, the Beast Committee, will be joining us with all the Red Z lending stats. Of course, Ream Hot Water looking after us this afternoon. Built tough for Aussie conditions when it comes to water heating. Ask a plumber to install a Ream. The Eagles about to come out. And will you recognise many of the faces, Embers? It is a really inexperienced team for West Coast now without Josh Kennedy. And, of course, during the week, Gaff and Hearn missing out as well.
Well, that's right, yeah. And unfortunately with West Coast at the moment, their senior players are still probably their best players right now, but you can't rely on those guys forever. So an opportunity now for young kids to come in. Greg Clark comes back into the side, and Paddy Naish, he gets a call up now with the late out with Josh Kennedy. So I think West Coast are going to find it very difficult today. I think we know that. But an opportunity again to just go and match up on some of these A-graders that Melbourne have right now. And you get to play on them, you get to test yourself out, and I think a few of these guys, as we know, are probably playing for their careers right now. So they want to go out there, they want to impress, they want to play well, but they're going to find it very difficult this afternoon, you would expect.
I reckon Eagles fans are pretty, I guess they're being honest with themselves. They know they're going to lose this afternoon, but they want to go home and be able to say, one, the Eagles competed, and two, who's the glimmer of hope? Who's the one kid when you go home and go, gee, he played well today. I wouldn't mind seeing him next year. Who is it for you?
That's right, yeah. I mean, I'm looking at this side right now and I'm thinking, whether a Waterman can, bob up and kick 2 or 3 goals in a losing side.
But he's had 3 or 4 seasons.
Where's his position? Where's Waterman playing right now?
So who's playing for their futures right now? We've mentioned Waterman. Nelson is another one for sure playing for their futures. What about Foley? We haven't seen a lot of him, but is he playing for his future right now?
I think he goes around again.
No, I think he's playing for his future. I think O'Neill's playing for his future.
Jermaine Jones.
So does Paddy Naish, who obviously had a pretty decent start to his career here, then, of course, was part of the nightclub troubles, was an emergency coming in, was going to be probably the medical sub. He gets a chance. Is he playing for his future, or does he get another contract?
He's been quite impressive, I
reckon. I thought he's been all right, and I'm surprised. He must have been punished for that nightclub incident.
The past couple of weeks, his disposal has been average. And no one goes to him, so he's found the footy basically running around by himself and finds it pretty easily. But his disposal and efficiency moving the ball has really let him down. So obviously they've just decided we can't have that anymore. It's time for you to have a week off, and now he finds himself as the sub.
Josh Rothman's another one that I think has shown a little bit, but hasn't nailed down the spot across half back.
The problem is that all those players are only ever going to be, say, your 15th to 23rd kind of quality player.
But they are an important player. If you look at, say, Melbourne's team now, James Jordan, Neil Bullen, they're the type of players that West Coast need.
Sparrow.
Yeah.
So those guys just have to come out and compete and show effort to show they deserve a spot next year, or the next few years, while they then go to the draft and try and get your next 4 or 5, your Petrarca and your Oliver and those kind of players.
West Coast have always found a way to rebuild really quickly, and when they've won grand finals, when those players have retired, young kids have come through, but now when you look at West Coast lists and you go, well, their best players are still their senior players. Their best players are still Josh Kennedy, Shannon Hearn, McGovern, Luke Shuey. But these guys, they're going to be gone in 1 or 2 years' time. So who's that next crop coming through? And that right now is the big question for the West Coast Eagles, because they're just not there.
But that's what happens when you compete, is you don't get the top 10 draft picks. But all those players we mentioned, all those they're in that 25 to kind of 45 range, and the Eagles have missed on almost all of them for the past sort of 6 seasons. They haven't got anyone really in that range that can stand up. And we were talking about it before, a team like Fremantle, who have gone really, really well. So they took Darcy at 38, Cox at 41, Ryan at 66, Swikowski at 73.
That was all in one draft. 2016.
Schultz at 57, Frederick at 61, Walker at 50. So that compared to the Eagles, who, with their late picks, Ainsworth at 32, Petrelli at 38, O'Neill 28, Foley at 31, Williams at 35, Waterman at 77.
So are they choosing the wrong players, or are they not developing embers?
I think it's a bit of both. I think your list manager probably has to be, in my opinion, your highest paid person on your payroll. Their job is so crucial. And as you said, Fremantle have been able to nail, a lot of those guys between 20 and 40. If West Coast are not going to get the high draft picks, which, they haven't been able to get over the past 10 years because they've been quite successful, then you need to be able to find a way to nail that next guy. Because right now, you look at West Coast list and you could have the best. Who's the best coach out there right now? You know, is it
Not
Goody?
coaching?
Yeah, or anywhere.
Or Clarko, probably.
Okay, well,
Clarko's the one everyone
Clarko's
talks
not
about.
doing anything different to what Simo's doing with his
Correct.
group that he's got right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's why you need to be able to find a way to build a list. And West Coast, I mean, Trevor Nisbet, he's a ruthless CEO. He might have stepped back the last few years.
Yep.
I reckon, knowing what Nizzy's like, he is going to basically step into the role now.
You've read
and
my
just-
mind. I said this on Friday on breakfast. I said it is now Nisbet's time because
Yeah.
he knows his legacy. Like, he's been there for all the premierships, but
Yep.
he knows if he leaves in the next 2-3 years, his legacy will be West Coast slide down
Yep.
the ladder this year. He's not going to let that happen. He is a
absolutely
ruthless
not.
operator, and he'll go to the draft. And I'll tell you what, Melbourne better sign Luke Jackson because they could lose him through the pre-season.
Yeah.
That's how ruthless
Yeah.
Nizzy will be.
Do you think that Luke Jackson's the kind of player, though, that after
Maybe
doing that
not.
at Melbourne just
Maybe not,
gives him a
maybe not.
stiff
But
arm?
Nizzy will have a crack at it.
They'll have a crack.
He'll
yeah.
absolutely have a crack.
And
he
the
won't
thing
want to
is-
give away pick one. He'll want Luke Jackson and pick one that might be able to split into two, and he'll get 3 players for the price of one.
Yeah.
Then they climb the ladder a lot quicker.
And they will not accept the West Coast Eagles with where they're at right now. They won't tolerate this, and everything will be on the table. There's no players that are safe.
No.
And when I look at the West Coast team right now, they probably haven't got a great deal of currency with current players, but Nick Natanui, for example, right? If Carlton come to to West Coast and say, we'll give you an early second-round draft pick, I think that's a fair conversation.
Yeah.
Nick
Yeah.
Nat's
I
been
actually
at-
think Nick Nat's the only one that they wouldn't trade because he's such a
He's
West
been
Coast
huge. He's
Eagles
been
person.
great.
They got the Nat and Nui
But what
Academy.
happens if Nick says, listen, I missed out in 2018.
Yeah,
Okay,
I wanna
there might
go
be an
somewhere.
opportunity, maybe
Yeah.
at Sydney or maybe at Carlton, where I've got 2 years and I
Yeah.
might be able to win a flag. Does he just go, thanks very much? He doesn't owe West Coast anything. West Coast don't owe him anything because I think it's been an incredible relationship that both of those guys have had. Jack Darling's another one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Jack Darling,
absolutely.
It's a bigger conversation about how the West Coast kind of move their list into the next kind of stage and what they do. But, I mean, Jack Darling's a hard one because if you move him and Josh Kennedy is going to retire, then you're left with Oscar Allen by himself in a forward line age 23 having to carry the load.
Yeah, but then Jack Darling's probably still got a fair bit of currency, so he's got, you get an early second-round draft pick for him. I think he'd be a really good fit at Fremantle.
Yeah, imagine Jack Darling at Sydney or at the Western Bulldogs. I mean, the Bulldogs have no defence, so McGovern's the other one. Could you McGovern, Dunkley, or
contract's
McGovern
too
for
big.
a...
From all reports,
Yeah.
the contract's just too
contract's
big.
way too
Unless
big.
West Coast are prepared to pay
You can't
a fair bit of
You can't
it.
offload that
Now,
contract.
talking of big,
Yeah.
of course, Lockie's 50th birthday.
Oh, of course,
And
yes.
he's made a massive impact, Embers, on Triple M over
he
the
has.
past 6 years.
And the
been
buffet this afternoon,
He's
yeah.
been a huge member of Triple M, as you know, and he's had some great moments here calling football for Triple M. Of course, last year's grand final.
Oh,
It
wasn't
was
that
just,
good?
outstanding.
Yeah, outstanding call.
And we've gone through the archives, actually.
No,
Tony,
no,
and
you've gone through
I've
the
gone through the archives,
Right.
and there's a lot of great ones, as I said, but there's probably one moment for mine that stands out.
We'll come to you soon, Beastie. A little bit of sensible stuff on Triple M footy for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Hot water.
Embers the same.
Triple M Rocks footy.
Yeah, I was just looking for an Amy Clanger. Normally
You're
it gets
an idiot,
thrown to
mate.
embers, so we thought we'd just highlight one mistake that Lockie's
Yeah.
readers made.
You know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen because but the Beast, of course, he's my best mate.
Yeah.
And when you go to the car park, he's coming after you.
I reckon
He is
he might.
coming after you
Yeah.
in the car park. Welcome to you, Beastie.
Welcome, Locke. Happy birthday, mate.
Thank you very much.
And yes, I'll be waiting on Embers at the car. Nothing
Did you ever have a
unusual.
crack? You went to school together. Did you ever have a crack at Embers?
No, not that I remember.
Were you younger or older?
Trinity boys
I
are
was
thick
younger.
together, mate.
I was
Younger.
younger,
Oh,
but
you
in
still-
fairness to Embers, he's always been a good man. I remember getting invited around to one of his end of year parties when I was a tacker, and I was like, "That's pretty cool."
Really? You got invited? So you
it
were
was just that
younger?
type of bloke. I don't like to blow up his ego. I know I'm going to be waiting for him after the game, but he was.
Trinity boys, one
Yes.
and all in Lockie.
He has not changed an iota, Embers. In fairness to him, success or not, he's been Embers.
Not like Embers to have a party.
Yeah,
Even
exactly.
what, at 15 years of age, you have parties.
That's
Embers.
right.
Yeah.
I think it was about 16, 17 at the time.
Yeah, Mum and Dad probably still haven't forgiven me for that one. but we had a couple down there in Bassendean.
Now, Beastie, I was watching TV during the week.
Yes.
I was watching and
It finally aired.
finally aired. Young Rock, of
the
course.
backyard barbecue finally aired after weeks of getting put back.
Nikolai Volkov.
Correct. I can reveal now.
So for the listeners out there, the Beast is he's an actor. This is his part-time gig. This is his casual job. He is going to go to Hollywood. There's no doubt about it. And you were part of Young Rock, which was filming over in the east.
Yes, it's filming in Queensland. Meant to be Hawaii, of course.
Yes.
But nice and interchangeable there for them. But
and you got a gig. You got a gig on the show. How did it go? Were you happy with how it unfolded?
Yeah. I mean, there was obviously we shot a lot, so it's just a question of what would be used. And obviously, being the Russian heel, I was a little bit worried that certain world climate may edit me out a bit, Locke. So, but in fairness to Nikolai, he was Croatian and fled the Yugoslavia and Bulgaria as a weightlifter to get out of the USSR. So it's a nice little backstory too against that. So he just played the Russian heel. And
let's play a little bit of the Beast starring role on Young Rock.
We've got a full card tonight, Pat, with grudges to settle and a lot of violent promises to keep.
I wish I didn't have to blink, because I don't want to miss a second.
This capacity crowd none too happy to see the two gentlemen come into the ring right now.
Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov looking unstoppable today, Gene.
There he was. He got a bit of wrestling in with the...
Where's the lines?
No, there was no lines, Tommy. There was no lines.
Did they drop them, or did you have some lines?
No lines yet.
No
so
lines.
Hopefully season 3 I come back. Obviously I was tagging with Brett Azar, who plays the Iron Sheik.
Yep.
So they had a big time partnership together.
Right.
And hopefully we can bring that back in season 3.
The game's about to start, but very quickly, did you sit up with Dad with a bit of a glass of red and just watch the show, or did he show no interest at all?
We showed absolutely no interest. Just me and the missus at home. Got a nice text message from Mum saying, well done, Dad. No contact.
No contact at all. All right, it's the Eagles and the Demons. We'll go down to Joshy Garlip throughout this first quarter. He's on the boundary for Bob J. T-Marts, and of course, Maxi Gawn's in the middle against Jamison. Here's Tommy Atkinson.
McDonald's and Ream hot water. Triple M Rocks footy is gone, wins it down. A big tackle's been laid early. Ball just spills free to Redden. The 250 gamer. Clark runs past it. Oliver goes in. Redden goes again. Jamison tried to hand pass it to Kelly. The ball's moved about 30 centimetres. Still right in the centre. The umpire says they'll have it and throw it up.
Big test for young Jamison. I thought he was very good last week, but up against Gawn and Jackson today is another challenge in itself.
So Jones gets it out to Redden. His third touch early, up towards Ryan, but going back, taking a nice mark is Lever. He goes short. His kick, though, is missed. Viney. It's taken by Kelly. Goes to Ryan, inside 50 towards Darling. Big double fist spoil comes from the D's. Back with Redden. His hand pass finds Kelly. Just inside 50. The banana up towards the top of the square. Waterman in good position, but going back is Jake Lever taking his second mark of the afternoon.
Minute gone in this game as Lever comes to this broadcast side. Two bad kicks from Lever. That time the Eagles couldn't take the mark. Cozzy Pickett picks it up one-handed, runs away. Petreski-Seaton tried to tackle him, shook that one off, and the kick out wide's a good one. Langdon's taken the mark. Spam out on the wing is Fritz, and then here comes inboard. Good kick into the middle of the ground. It'll go to McDonald, edge of the centre square, kicks inside 50, Witherden read it best. Chopping off in front of Spargo, Witherden 30 out from his defensive goal, takes the mark. Nothing plays nothing. Barras now has it, a minute and a half gone in this first term.
Embers, well, we've got a bit of a break here. Let's get some SKG matchups. SKG Radiology now bulk billing and all Medicare relatable services.
Barras has gone to Ben Brown, McGovern's gone to McDonald, and at the other end of the ground, Stephen May has Jack Darling.
Of course, Josh Kennedy will probably find himself at SKG getting a scan this afternoon. If you missed it, he's laid out with a knee injury. And Patrick Naish is coming to the side. He's the sub. As the ball's gone to the outer wing, we'll throw it in. No score either side. We've gone 2 minutes in the first term. McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks footy is gone, and Jamison go at it. A bunch of players just try and get it out. Nelson has an opportunity, but his hand pass has gone to Viney. He goes to Langdon, to Oliver. He just almost runs out of room, but manages to stay in. Goes inside 50. McGovern at the front of the pack. His hands go up, and in fact, he'll get a free kick for the West Coast Eagles inside his defensive 50. And he's got a man on here. Tim Kelly with space in the middle of the ground, can have a bounce, does. Over the top with a hand pass, finds Cripps. Goes with wider to Redden inside the centre square towards Waterman. That's a beautiful pass. And Jakey Waterman, Embers, you mentioned him. You want to see more of him impressing this afternoon. He's about 45 out in a pretty tough angle.
And with Josh Kennedy out, you expect that Waterman will spend more time inside forward 50, but Love the movement from West Coast then. They attacked the corridor. McGovern with their intercept mark. He's been doing that for a long time. And then they are off. And Waterman's movement was really good. He worked hard back towards goal. Came back at the kicker. Hard to stop that.
24 years of age. Playing for his future maybe. Leans back and gets the Eagles first. So a nice kick from Waterman. West Coast 1 straight 6. Melbourne yet to score. 3.5 gone in the first term. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
And I like to see that from West Coast. We know that they're a side that likes to chip the ball around in their back half, but McGovern wants to go really quick, and space opened up through the middle of the ground, and their forwards were smart. They didn't all come up the kicker. They worked back hard, which created a lot of space for them to come back at the kicker, and there was a few options inside forward 50 from that fast break, and this particular time Waterman got himself in a good position and more importantly went back and kicked a really good set shot.
Yeah, Kelly Redden off to a good start too, and there's four disposals each, and they had some success with clearance last week in a losing effort against Brisbane. So it's good to see them win that clearance too for Kelly on the Red Z Lending stats.
Bounce to the footy back in the middle. We'll go to Josh Garlip in a moment for Bob Jane T-Marts. Eagles doing pretty well in the centre square to start this game. Jamison working hard, stolen out of his hands by Oliver. An awkward one for Spargo, couldn't gather it. Redden did. Gave it off to a teammate in Doug, and he just slaps it forward. This is Dixon, will kick to a lead. May did really well, got in front, and he'll get the free kick. High contact against Jake Waterman.
Just got sent a text, Lock.
Yep.
The odds, Melbourne, $1.005.
Wow.
Not $1.05.
And what a West Coast. They were $17 earlier in the week.
300.
Well, it's 1 straight 6, end the game now, and someone might have made some money as the kick goes along the line, fisted away from Ben Brown. Let's go down to the boundary. Bob Jane T-Marts, Joshy Garlip, MVP, SPL 2010.
You need to stop spreading propaganda, mate. Just a quick one, guys. We had Josh Kennedy late scratching. Patrick Naish coming in for him. He's the he's the sub rather on the bench. And for Melbourne, Cade Chandler. He's their sub as well.
Good on you, Joshy, by a set of 4 monster wheels and off-road tyres and enders to win the Austrac Telegraph X-Camper trailer as the ball's still at left half forward. Here's Cozzy Pickett, gathers 45 out, kicks to an open goal, and he's missed to the right-hand side. A minor score for the D's. The Eagles are 1 straight 6, and that is on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboards.
So McGovern at a full back, goes short to Foley, and back to Tim Kelly, used his wheels. He comes inboard. Now Jamie Cripps has it. He's been quiet this season by hand. Goes back to a bit of pace off half back and just pumps inside 50 towards Darling at the back of the pack. Just slaps it back towards Ryan. But it's been taken now by the D's, and Oliver to Brayshaw. Little 1-2 ends up back with Brayshaw. He puts a high up and under kick. Barris in best position. He's going to get a free kick. It's going to go against Ben Brown, and Tommy Barris will take it almost in the centre square, but just on the wing side. Comes short. Comes back to Witherden. This pass is a shocker. Put McGovern in all sorts of trouble. Turnover footy in the middle of the ground. Neil Bullen's got men everywhere. The mark's been taken here by McDonald. Runs on, and he's kicked another one. So a shocking kick from Jeremy McGovern, and the D's make him pay and get 2 inside 60 seconds. So it's their first. So it's 1-1-7. West Coast 1 straight 6. The margin 1 point. Almost 7 minutes gone in the first term. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboards.
Well, it was a turnover footy there. It was Witherden who just couldn't hit the target, and it's been an issue for West Coast this year. Their effort at times has been good, but just lazy disposals, and you turn the footy over in the middle of the ground like that, and suddenly Melbourne are off to the races. They could have been Bailey Fritz in there, but in the end McDonald's very hard to stop that, and West Coast are going to have to be a lot better. They continue to turn the footy over like that, then they could it could be a long day for them.
Choice Hotels around the grounds, Carlton at 3/4 time lead GWS by 6 points. We're back in the middle, and Jackson's in there up against Bailey Williams on this occasion. So the youngsters for the Eagles having a crack in the ruckers. Petrarca kicks it out wide. This man's looking really dangerous. Started really well last week as well, Pickett. And he's had a few disposals already in this game. He's a long way out though, so he'll just kick it in the Max Gawn direction. Goes up against Barris, decides to tap it like a ruckman. to Jackson, to Harms. Harms snaps round the corner and missed to the right-hand side. A little disappointing finish from only 35 out for Harms. 1-2-8 Melbourne. The Eagles won straight 6. Now 8 minutes ticking over this week only. Score 20% off your entire order when you spend $10 or more only on the My Macca's app.
So McGovern short to Harry Edwards. Back into defence this afternoon. Of course, rucked quite a bit last week and goes long down the line at the front of the pack. Petrescu-Seaton. No mark paid. Ends up in the hands of Kelly. Diving on top here, Jackson Nelson. The ball is shoveled out, though, back to Kelly. He's had a heap on the Red Z Lending stats. Little 1-2 back to Kelly. He goes wide and gets a bit of time to Duggan. Wants to go quick to Redden on the far side of the ground. Goes over the top and find Nelson. Comes back in board to Duggan. Wants to use his pace and take a bit of a risk. It's a high up and under kick. Stephen May in best position. He'll mark that every day of the week, Stephen May, at centre-half back for the D's.
He has it 55 or 50 out from his defensive goal. Wants to come to this broadcast side. Might be told to go the other way by the D's because plenty of numbers on this side with the West Coast Eagles. Here's Barris, who started well, just carries the ball over the boundary line. Joshy on the boundary once again, Bob Jane T-Marts.
Well, there's a decent crowd here right now, but apparently Perth Central Station has been shut down, so the fans that are trying to go through there to get to the game could be in a bit of trouble because, as you know, a lot of people head to the game through there, so there's an incident and that's been shut down right now.
Well, that does sound pretty serious, Joshy. Good on to you. So Oliver will have it on the wing. Will kick in the direction of the top 50, gathered by Neil Bullen. Wants to hand it off. Petrarca, 45 out the track, sends it home. Straight through the high Italy middle for the number 5 for the D's. Best on ground here on grand final day last year. And Melbourne at 2-2-14. The Eagles won straight 6. 10 gone now in this first term for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy.
Just lacking a bit of chemistry in their back half there, the West Coast Eagles. Liam Duggan, he comes across and tries to spoil Jeremy McGovern, who's the best intercept mark in their side, and they just get it all wrong. And you can understand what they're trying to do right now, but just got to be better than that, Duggan. Just got to allow McGovern just to take that easy intercept mark. In the end, he spoils McGovern, and the ball spills to Petrarca. He ain't going to miss.
Yeah, 3 disposals already for Petrarca, coming off 36 4 clearances and 8 inside 50s last week, averaging 31 on the season on the Red Z Lending stats.
So both goals from turnover for the D's. Of course, West Coast set all kinds of records a couple of weeks ago with more than 20 goals from turnover. As we bounce it again, the D's going to get it out of the middle. Jackson, hand pass comes out wide here to Jordan. He goes back and ends up back in the hands of Jackson. Jordan runs past again, near side wing, kicks the centre half forward. McGovern read it best, takes a mark, wants to go quick. Hand pass to West, has nowhere to go. He goes back to Williams, back to Duggan, wants his left side, instead goes by hand to McGovern. Bit of time here, McGovern. Kicks long, is Dixon in best position against Lever, but can't mark it. Lever just stuck his arm in and Lever it out of the way. He goes back and the D's will chip up lead. He's been marked by Harms to go short and finds Oliver.
Oliver will hand it off to Rivers. Should have been a mark to Dixon, I would have thought. It was tapped out of his hands after he took total control. As now it's with Jordan on the wing for the Demons. He'll send it to the top of the 50. Gawn's a little bit behind. Barris got in good position. Now it's come out the back though. Neil Bullen will track it down. His hand pass to the feet of Sparrow. He hand passes further afield, trying to shrug off the tackle. His Cripps sidestep. Cozzy Pickett goal. Torpedo into the grandstand as well. 3 quick goals for the Demons. 3-2-20. They lead the Eagles 1 straight 6. Great little sidestep from Cozzy, seeing a nice little 6-pointer go through.
He's a very exciting player, isn't he, young Cozzy Pickett there? Just love Luke Jackson, though. Just take it back to the centre bounce and just the way that he moves. Like, it's just, he'll win the ruck tap, but then he leaves that stoppage quicker than any other midfielder. He's able to get on the end of it. It does certainly remind me of Dean Cox when I played a lot of footy with him. His ability just to be able to find football around the ground. Luke Jackson, he's like another midfielder, but they're getting the game played in their forward half at the moment, and they're very selfless with the way they go about it. Fritz could have snapped a goal, but in the end he gave it to his mate Pickett.
Yeah, exactly right. And it's 7-3 now, the inside 50, so starting to control the entries on the Red Z Lending stats.
Red Z Lending loans for the self-employed. 3 quick goals to the D's, and we bounce it again. Strong tackles laid. The umpire says holding the ball. It's going to be a free kick. Going to go the way of I think Connor West in there for West Coast in the middle of the ground by hand. That's a shocking hand pass. Had Greg Clark free, went straight past him, and Viney turns it over. And now running past is Langdon with some pace, of course. Knows his ground so well. Comes back in ball to Jackson, to Shayton Bacon, got Rivers' opponent. Barris goes back, can't take the mark, falls to the front of the pack. Taken by the D's, tries to get back towards Frisch, but ended up in the hands of Barris. His hand pass finds Witherden, and then thumped out of the vents again by McGovern to the middle of the ground.
The kick into the middle will be fisted forward. Oliver will pick it up. He's in the centre square, goes short, play on not 15, said the umpire to Harms. Harms' kick is a beauty. Inside 50 it goes, and Fritz has taken the mark. They're trying to play aggressively, West Coast, but they don't have the skills today. I mean, Connor West, his hand pass, he tried to move it on quick. You've got to hit the target if you're going to play that way.
There's definitely a talk around those West Coast Eagles players this week that they want to continue to take the game on. And you can see that right now. They want to take the corridor on. It opened up for their first goal of the game, but unfortunately at the moment they're just lacking composure, and they're turning the footy over, and on rebound Melbourne are just finding so many targets right now.
So this could be 4 goals in 6 minutes, and Fritz doesn't miss too many. He kicks it through from 45 out. The D's have got 4 now. 4 straight. Well, in fact, they're 4-2-26, but they have kicked 4 goals straight. And looking the goods at the moment on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert teams, and a huge range of electrical products and services. Beacon makes every tradie's job a little easier.
And you want West Coast to continue to take the game on. You want them to be able to, if you see it, hit it. But unfortunately, at the moment, they're inexperienced, and Melbourne's pressure's been good, forcing West Coast into the turnover. And then, as we've seen all year, very hard to stop that turnover. In Melbourne, they're just so composed with ball in hand. They find targets, and they've got options inside forward 50 at the moment. Fritz has been good. McDonald's been lively, as has Pickett.
So D's by 20 points. The umpire's going to have to bounce that one again. Go around the grounds. It's Carlton by 12 points in the 4th term over the Giants. Jamison and Gawn. Gee, that was too easy for Gawn. Just tapped it straight into the hands of Viney. But he's tackled quickly. It spills out, and Gawn gets it to Petrarca, who thumps the high ball to half forward. Going back with courage was Neil Bullen. Couldn't mark it. Falling over with McGovern. Couldn't put the pressure on. McDonald's got it. It's got men everywhere. And inside 50, Neil Bullen's dropped it above his head. And he's tackled strongly. We'll throw it up 40 out for the D's goal.
Should have left it, Neil Bullen. He had a man behind him who could have just taken it on the chest.
So we'll throw it up. The umpire's looking for the 2 ruckmen. It's going to be Jamison and Lukey Jack, and Jackson just taps it down. No one can really take it out. West picks it up for West Coast. He's tackled strongly, and the umpire says, I'll throw it up again. Let's go downstairs. Joshy Garlop.
Jermaine Jones just pulled up a bit limp from that contest. He's just limping on the side of this ball up right now.
Well, Jane T-Marts as Jackson jumps up high. He's going to get a free kick, I think, for shepherding here in the ruck contest.
And that's what happened. So Jamison, he's looking like he's going to be the ruckman right now, but McGovern says, you push out, let me do it. And inexperienced Jeremy McGovern coming up against Luke Jackson just then, and McGovern took his hands off the football. Triple M Harvey Norman replay picks that up, and Luke Jackson, who is a genuine star in the making, is lining up now for Melbourne's 5th.
So Jackson from 47, deliberate, and it's straight, just swings late and misses to the far side. And of course, we saw that free kick on the Harvey Norman replay, and then a new laptop or mobile shop, Harvey Norman. We have all the big brands. The D's now lead by 21 points, 17 gone in the first term.
So the kick out will come from the boot of Witherden. He goes to the far side of the ground in the direction of Darling. Had that fisted away by Lever. He's all over him at the moment. Langdon quick hands to Tom McDonald. Now to Bowie. He kicks high inside attacking 50. Harms just went at it real hard. Comes down towards Pickett. He kicks to the goal square. Brown's one-on-one with McGovern. He's caught up in a tackle. Ball rolls over the boundary line. 5 metres around from Melbourne's goal. Another chance for the D's to score here.
Eagles defence under the pump now, 11-3. Those inside 50s in favour of Melbourne on the Red Z lending stats.
Red Z lending, loans for the self-employed. Mark Committee looking after those, or Victor? Was it Victor?
Nikolai,
that's it. Yeah, okay. All right, Nikolai, thank you. Here's Swallow, gathers it, 35 out, kicks to an open goal, but he might have missed everything. He has. It's out of bounds on the full. Volkov, that's right. Nikolai Volkov.
You got the V confused with the last name, Lock. It's fair enough.
Yeah, thank you. So 4-7-27 is Melbourne's score. 1 straight 6 is the Eagles. 18 gone in this first term. The kick in the direction of Darling goes over the top of him, and it's gathered by Rivers. He pounds it inside 50 again. Jermaine Jones under it, and then he takes Pickett high. Pickett is so lively at the moment. He's had a fantastic first term. As I said, I think it was last week, he had about 9 or 10 possessions as a forward pocket in the game. He's a terrific young man.
Sure is. Probably his first 3 or 4 weeks is a little bit quiet, but certainly the last 2 or 3 he's really starting to show what he's capable of. And just Jermaine Jones there. Firstly, a couple of mistakes. He drops the mark and then gives away a free kick. But Pickett's certainly been very lively to start this game.
Coming up to disposal number 7, 2 inside 50s to go with 1 goal already.
So a kick from 45, as the Beast said. Already got the goal on the board, Cosy Pickett. He's on the long run up and maybe creep towards 40, and it was easy as you like. That's straight through the middle. It's 5-3-33 now for the Melbourne Footy Club. They lead the Eagles 1 straight 6. 19 gone in this first term on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. And Triple M Seabus Super special comments. He's on his own today and he's sounding terrific, I might just say. He loves it when he just goes on his own, not really affected by anybody else jumping over the top of him.
Go your own way.
Go your own way. Don't sing it. Seabus Super making hard work pay off.
Well, of course, Xavier Ellis, my main man alongside me. He's had the week off. He's a bit sick.
Did you see his Instagram last night? Have we spoken about his Instagram?
We did speak about it a little bit.
Nude on a
little horse, and the horse is called Brownie.
Well,
I'm surprised the horse could hold his weight.
That was
in his birthday suit too.
I know, no clothes at all.
Imagine the outtakes from that video. M sitting there filming it. Once more. Just run past once more.
So when we said he's sick, do you just mean demented?
Sick
or?
All right, the D's get another clearance through Gawn to Langdon to Petrarca, and look at him run forward here. There's men everywhere, and Viney's got it at half forward on the left, swings it towards McDonald. In the pack, Barris comes over the top, just thumps it down, and Foley gets it and kicks to a one-on-one. And Langdon just shoved his opponent out of the way and took the mark very easily. In fact, it's going to be a free kick, and Nelson will take it at half-back for the West Coast Eagles.
Barris did well there, coming back with a fly to the footy to get a spoil on. But at the moment, as you can see, just the momentum, just inside 50 entries, Melbourne just dominating.
Choice Hotels Carlton lead by 18 points over the Giants in Leon Cameron's last game. In fact, it's 24 points now over the Giants with about 9.5 gone in the final term as the ball is kicked inside 50 by Melbourne. Harms tried to handball it towards Langdon and he can't pick it up. We'll throw it in. 70 out from Melbourne's goal.
Quick start for Oliver now too. 8 disposals for him, 3 clearances already, 2 centre bounce on the Reds Atlantic stats.
Good on you, Beastie. Quietly going about his business. 5-3-33 the D's. 1 straight 6 the West Coast Eagles. Ball the forward half of the ground for Melbourne. Spent a lot of time there as the kick bounces over the top of Bowie's head. Not a hard thing to do, to be honest. He's a little man. He gathers it though. Goes by hand to Lever, who's had a heap of it as well. Goes short to Viney. Now they'll switch it and come to this broadcast side to Petty. Petty's got a man out wide in Jordan. Draws a player and just kicks it out towards the dugout here. Jordan's taken the mark. Got a premiership medal. It's the Medi sub in the grand final last year. Plays on quickly. Goes in the direction of Brown. Brown was too worried about his opponent in Edwards. Lost sight of the footy and Edwards took a handy mark. He goes short to Jones. And Jones will have to go short again to Redden. And as Tommy said, playing game 250. That's an amazing effort, isn't it? 250 games. Been a great player.
Very durable.
But very durable. That's quite amazing because he's not really that old. It's not like he's 36 years of age.
No.
West Coast to continue to muck around with it. A free kick will get him out of trouble. Goes against Harms and Jones will take the free.
In the first half of last season, he was awesome. When their whole midfield was down.
Well, you think about
barely plays a bad game.
The 2018 season when they won that grand final, he was player of the finals. Along with Dom Sheed. So he's been a very important player for West Coast.
So the Eagles now just inside their defensive 50 are chipping it around. Embers, tell us about this zone that Melbourne are playing, just filling up the space.
Well, at the moment, they know that West Coast will turn the footy over, so all they're trying to do is put pressure on the ball carrier, okay? Just trying to force them long down the line because they know they've got the Eagles in the air right now.
That's the kick that goes down the line. Gawn made good ground to spoil it with his left hand. The hand pass from Brayshaw missed Gawn. Picked up by Bowie, and he's tackled strongly. In fact, it's high. Locke, you're a big Melbourne man.
Yep.
Is this kid in line to win the Rising Star?
He'd have to be a contender, no doubt about it. I mean, not only is he part of a winning team, but he stands up each and every week. It's not like he's been carried along or, you know, he's lucky to be in the team. He'd be one of the, not first pick, but he'd certainly be in the 22 each and every week.
So Melbourne are just waltzing through the middle of the ground to Oliver from 50. And he's missed to the right-hand side. 5-4-34, West Coast 1 straight 6, 24 gone in the first term. How did your man Heath Chapman go today, Embers? Have you seen his numbers
Didn't see the Freo game. I had daughter's basketball on today, so didn't see it.
I don't think he missed much, but maybe you
those
can,
games for him. So the short pass was good to Taylor. 28 points is the margin at the moment as we approach quarter time. The kick's a long one. Waterman from behind couldn't hold on to it. West dragged down when caught in a really good tackle by Neil Bullen, I think it might be. No, it's Viney who slowly gets up. And we'll ball it up far side of the grounds. Still just inside of the forward half of the ground for Melbourne. Jackson's doing the ruck work. Clark working hard for the Eagles. Comes out, though, to Oliver, to Jackson. 55 out, goes to the lead of Brown, and Brown takes it. He'll kick from 40. This is really easy at the moment. And the D's, I suppose, have got to be careful not to get carried away and be a little bit too fancy and play, you know, fancy Harlem Globetrotter footy. They've just got to put the points on the board now, don't they? They've missed a few. They're 5-4. Should be probably 6 or 7 goals.
No, you're right. They're certainly getting the game played in their forward half. They set up really well behind the footy, and West Coast just can't clear it. And when they do, it continues to go back in. So they've just got to make the most of these opportunities that they're getting right now, Melbourne.
A little bit of a hush around the crowd as Brown comes on the Dennis Lilly run-up. He kicks towards goal and he claps it through. They'll be really happy with that. It's now 6 goals for 40 for the Demons. And they lead the West Coast Eagles 1 straight 6. 25 gone here in the first quarter. And that's on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard, supporting tradies with over 120 stores. Expert teams and a huge range of electrical products and services. Beacon makes every tradie's job easier.
Inside 50s, Beast.
16-3 now, Members.
Oh, you can just see it right now. The game is certainly getting played the way Melbourne wants it, and they've just got so many options inside forward 50. 6-4 in the first quarter from 16 entries, as Beast mentioned. They're just doing it really easy. Probably could have kicked 8 goals already, but you feel this game is really starting to blow out. And as we know, Melbourne like playing here. We saw them blow Geelong out of the water in a prelim, and then they did it to Western Bulldogs. They have got another gear that they can go to, and we may just see that again today.
So Jackson wins the tap. Shark by Viney. Back to Oliver. Back to Jackson. Just shrugs off the tackle. Does it very nicely. Back to Viney. Petrarca from 55. Top of the square going back is McDonald. Can't mark. Ends up in the hands of Duggan. He's tackled though. The ball spills out. The snap comes towards goal and goes just through for one behind. It was Spargo up there that had a snap from 25, and Melbourne get one more score. So 6-5-41. The Eagles 1 straight 6. The margin 35 points. Downstairs, Bob Jane T-Marts to Josh.
Seems like everything's gone the Demons' way right now. Sparrow just went down to the ruins, but he was laughing. So even when they're getting injuries, they're having a bit of a laugh, guys.
The kick out into the pocket. Barris has it. He spreads it across to this broadcast side, so they'll try and switch play. They have got a man on in Waterman. The kick's got to be a good one, though. Flying high, Bowie. Just brought it to ground. Petreski Seaton working hard. He's caught in a great tackle by Rivers. Ball on the wing. Umpire says keep on playing. Waterman dragged down holding the football, and the umpire says now finally give it to me, and we'll ball it up. A good win there for Bowie and the D's, because West Coast might have been out. As Joshy said, they've been real good to start this game. 6-5, plays 1 straight. Here's Jackson playing like a midfielder at the moment as Petrarca, the midfielder, gathers it. The kick along the ground, superb by Viney. Ryan went the bump when he should have gone the tackle. Now it's with Jackson again to Jordan. Can go further afield to Petrarca. He desperately wanted it. In the end, Jordan's kick is inside attacking 50. Fritz will gather it. His hand pass a loose one. Petrarca just pushes off Ryan, gathers it, then just gets rid of the hand pass somehow. Umpire says, no, that was okay. Ball's 55 out from Melbourne's goal. Will have a ball up. And maybe, just maybe, it could have gone against Petrarca on that occasion. It's 6-5-41 the D's. The Eagles 1 straight 6 on the Beacon Trade scoreboard.
So Gawn just taps it down. Redden almost sharks it. In fact, it's gone back across the line. We'll throw it in.
And like you mentioned, the accuracy for Melbourne. They average scoring 13-12 a game. So they miss a fair bit, but they put plenty up on the board. And the Eagles give up 16-9. So it could be a messy day.
Yeah. So messy at the moment.
Boundary throw in, and Pickett takes it. Hand pass back to Brayshaw, who snaps it inside 50. Barris gets the spoil. Doesn't really go far, though, as I think the Beast, his manager's calling him. Got another job for him. He said the Logies were nominated. Can we get the Beast a gig?
There's Spielberg on the phone.
As the kick comes out from the fence from Cripps, but it's marked by Brayshaw on the wing.
Brayshaw has it. Answer the phone, Beastie. It is Steven Spielberg as the kick goes inside 50. Brown's high. Good punch, though. Barris, he's been one of the real winners so far in this game. We've gone 29 minutes in the first term, Tommy Barris. A lot of fists towards the boundary.
Yeah, he's been around it, hasn't he? Him and McGovern. They're going to certainly earn their paycheck today, some of these West Coast Eagles defenders, because you feel right now the ball's going to be in there a lot.
35 points is the margin. Closing in on quarter time. The kick from Petrarca went straight towards Kelly. His kick to the middle of the ground. Darling chasing after it. So too Petty. Just hand pass to the ground, then kicked it off the ground. Worked out okay. Neil Bolland caught in a bruising tackle by Petreski-Seaton. That was good stuff. To Redden. Now to Waterman. They're approaching their forward half. It's been a long time since they've been here. Now Redden again receives it from Waterman. Short pass is good. Connor West could look inside 50. Ryan's hovering. Decides to go long, and the siren will beat him. One chance to maybe score again, and the siren gets him. The D's 6-5-41. The West Coast Eagles 1 straight 6. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy.
That quarter for Beacon Trade, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert teams and a huge range of electrical products and services. Beacon makes every tradie's job easier.
For McDonald's,
Triple M rocks footy.
this week only, score 20% off your entire order when you spend $10 or more. Only on the My Maccas app.
Triple M rocks footy in 3.5 minutes. 1 minute. Thirty seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
'M rocks footy.
This quarter for IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
35 points is the margin at quarter time. The D's lead the way here at Optus Stadium, 6-5-41. The West Coast Eagles won straight 6. They kicked the first goal of the game, then it was all Melbourne after that. Andrew Embley is on his own this afternoon. The X-Man, we're thinking of you. Hope you're going okay, and we hope you've got some clothes on after watching your Instagram. But anyway, that's something a little different. Ember's bit of a training run in that first term for the Melbourne Footy Club, although West Coast started well because they were intent at football, but things changed about 7 minutes in.
You're right, after the West Coast hit the scoreboard, that was Waterman with the first of the game. Just looked like the game was starting to open up once Melbourne started to get their hands on the football. Oliver outstanding in the first quarter. He's up to 11 touches, but they're just doing it at the moment as they want to, Melbourne. They're certainly getting the game played in their forward half. 20 inside, 50 entries to 4 in the first quarter, and they've kicked 6 goals, 5, and really could be 8 or 9 goals. So West Coast, they're going to continue to have to take the game on. I like the fact that they are trying to use the corridor, but they just got to be more composed, and at times when they turn the footy over, trying to go for that 20-metre, 25-metre kick, which is not a hard kick, but you turn it over against a side like Melbourne and they're going to make you pay. So Melbourne at the moment got so many options inside forward 50. Pickett's been outstanding. He's been the live wire with a couple of goals, but McDonald and both Ben Brown have certainly presented. Fritz has looked really dangerous as well. So West Coast are going to have to tighten up through the midfield because Oliver's had a truckload of it. Viney's had a lot of it. So has Petrarca. So at the moment, Melbourne certainly getting things all their own way.
Absolutely. Let's go to the boundary. I don't know. There was only 3 heading to the bench for the Melbourne Footy Club. Tommy will call the action. But Joshy down on the boundary. Any sign of Swallow returning from the rooms?
No sign of Swallow just yet. There was a big thumbs up from the physio. I don't know what that means yet.
Sparrow.
Sorry, Sparrow rather.
Swallow.
You set me up. No sign yet. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
As the clearance comes West Coast way, and Ryan's marked it just inside the middle of the ground. Has Waterman all by himself and instead kicked it to a 2-on-1. Ends up in the hands here of Dixon. Just shoveled a hand pass out towards the boundary line, and Waterman just walks it across.
Even a handball there from Dixon just misses Waterman. Just could have been a quick little handball. Waterman can have a snap for his second. But at the moment, West Coast just making some fundamental errors right now.
For Jamison and Jackson, no clear winner. The clearance gets pumped out of defence by the D's towards Gawn. Almost a tunnelling free kick against McGovern, but he goes back and picks it up to Jones. His hand pass back to Duggan, who goes short and finds Barris. Goes back to Jones with some pace off halfback from the Eagles. They come inboard and find Witherden. He's got plenty of time and goes wide to Rotham.
He does. Rotham has it on the wing. He'll spread it out wide. The kick's a pretty good one. Melbourne with the numbers back. Nelson on the end of it. 6-5-41 the D's. 1 straight 6 the Eagles. The chip over the top is okay to Waterman, but it's really not going anywhere that's dangerous as Melbourne just flood back, prepared to run when they try and turn it over. Another short pass is okay. So this has been better footy, and Cripps with a rare possession. Hasn't been down his end, to be fair on him, as he kicks inside 50. Brave stuff from Brayshaw to get in the way. Petrarca couldn't get his kick away, and then Oliver kicks it out of bounds on the full. He was going completely the wrong way. And the Eagles will get the free kick. It'll be a tough angle, though. I think it might be Tim Kelly who'll take the free, and he's tight to the boundary. This will be a good kick if he can nail this one.
Yeah, not sure what Oliver was trying to do then.
Yeah, he just completely kicked it the wrong way. It was like he was thinking that was his end of the ground as Kelly runs around, kicks towards goal, and it's gone through for a minor score just to the left-hand side. Or has it been kept in play? It was kept in play. So no score at all, but it might go against the Demons as the Rivers kick wasn't a great one. And Jamison has taken the mark and he'll go from about 48 metres.
Well, Luke Jackson was on the line for Melbourne and he was the one that put the spoil on. I think he was thinking that the ball had actually gone through and suddenly found himself in a position where he couldn't rush it for a rush behind. In the end, they panicked a little bit, the D's, had to try to clear the footy and Jamison was in a good position to be able to take the intercept mark.
So he'll kick from 50. And it'd be a good story if he nailed it, although he's not even going to make the distance. The D's with the numbers that'll just fist it through. May there to gather it and will kick out. So a minor score for the Eagles. They're 1-1-7, Tommy, and the D's are 6-5-41. That is on the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
Steve, Frothy's May goes long towards Gawn. And Jets a strong mark. Up against two Eagles. The big long arms of Maxi Gawn. Just snatched it and comes short. Just opens up the ground by coming to Brayshaw on the wing. It's a tough kick towards Jordan. McGovern over the top spoiled it. Picked up by Duggan. Goes to Redden. Back to Duggan. He had no idea where to go. So just went back to Redden to half forward. Going back is May. Can't mark Ryan. Shows some pace. Just taps it to his own advantage. Cripps is going to run onto it here. Tries to soccer it off the ground. Coming up to meet it though is Waterman. He can't take it. Waterman lays a big tackle. Wraps it up. Will throw it up. 20 out from West Coast goal.
It was better by West Coast. It wasn't pretty, but they got numbers around it and they were prepared just to knock on, surge on, and more importantly, get a stoppage inside forward 50 right now.
The tap comes down. Picked up by Clark. He snaps. I think he's hit the post. Through from one behind for Greg Clark. Back into the side. The Eagles 1-2-8. Melbourne 6-5-41. We've gone 4 minutes in the second term. Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. IGA Liquor, when good food deserves a great drop.
Good on you, Tommy. As Stephen May will come to this broadcast side. Max Gawn the target again. He climbs high. Couldn't hold on to that one. Here's James Jordan. He's bumped off the footy. A little bit of aggression from West Coast. Like it. Dixon hands off to Jones, to McGovern, to Jamison. He's under the pump, just got the kick away though. Gawn will stand and try and take the mark. He does. Petreski-Seaton was against three. It was a little unfair for the little man. And Gawn's taken it 50 out from his defensive goal. Decides to go short. There's a couple of Demons there all on their own.
They never seem to switch the ball, Melbourne.
No. They trust their guys to take their marks. They've got a few tall timbers as well that they can kick to. Here's one now in Jackson. Comes to ground to Redden, to Edwards, slaps it forward, and another number. And a drop mark from Bowie. Okay to gather it because he had a few teammates around him. To Brayshaw, to Jordan again. He's racking him up, this quarter beastie, as he kicks it along the line. Jamison wet the fist. Good play, Eagles, up to the challenge at the moment. And now we'll go backwards to try and go forward. This is Barris inside his defensive 50. Can go short to Duggan. And then Duggan's 35 out. We'll chip it over the top to Edwards. So just got to maintain the footy at the moment. 6-5-41 the D's. And the Eagles 1-2-8.
This is what West Coast did in the first quarter. They controlled the footy. And it's been certainly a better start to this second quarter by the West Coast Eagles. The challenge now, though, is to be able to maintain their intensity.
The second term inside 50s now 3-0 in West Coast, so they're finally dominating the entries. The fans will be happy to know, Locke.
Triple M Red said lending stats from the Beast as we throw it in. Smack bang on the wing. It taps down to Oliver. He was tough in there. Picked it up. It was soccer kick. Comes that wide to Petrarca with pace. Look at the runners everywhere for the D's. Harms left foot inside 50, but going back is Tommy Barris for the Eagles, taking a saving mark. And straight away, the D's have shut down all the exits. He's going to have to pump it long. So the tall timber, Maxi Gawn goes up, can't mark. Dixon roves and spins onto his left side for the Eagles. Inboard, finds Petreski-Seaton. Hand pass off to Kelly, nowhere to go. Just tackled strongly. In fact, it was Winder. And his kick's been turned over towards Gawn. And his kick's a shocker. Up to meet it is Darling. Didn't play the footy though, played the man. Goes past him, picked up by inside 50 by the Eagles. And they picked it straight into the back of Ed Langdon. The snap, though, comes from Nelson from 40 towards goal. Going back is Cripps. He can't mark it. He's just going to stay in, hard up against the line. Cripps goes again, puts the pressure on with a bump. Picked up by Petreski-Seton. Going to be a free kick. It's going to go, I think, to Bowie. Pushing the back in the back pocket here for the D's.
That was a little unlucky. We'll watch it again on the Harvey Norman replay. Yeah, Cripps actually did push him in the back. It looked like more of a bump in the hands, though, in the slow-mo. Made sense. So, ball kicked along the line. Jones tackled by Petrarca. They're up to the challenge at the moment in this quarter, West Coast. I like their ferocity at the footy. They're having a crack.
They are, and Melbourne just got to be mindful of just not trying to overcomplicate it. Max Gawn just going for a switch kick before that probably wasn't on.
Here's Petrarca to Oliver, to Sparrow, now to Harms. He'll chip it over the top. It's a dangerous one as Cozzy had the pressure coming from Barris. Barris missed it, though, in the end. Pickett will pick it up, kick inside 50. Well done by Rotham, although it comes out the back. Brown or Rovitz. The big man kicks his seconds of the afternoon. And the D's have got their 7th, 7-5-47. They lead the Eagles 1-2-8, 8 gone. And on the Triple M Seabus Super special comments, the man looking after it this afternoon, going solo for Seabus Super, making hard work pay off. Here's Embers.
And that really hurts because West Coast, their effort in their second quarter has been better. They've certainly been able to get some inside 50 entries, but the one time that Melbourne go inside forward 50, just how easy they are able to do it. They get a contest, and Benny Brown, he was in that contest, and suddenly he was able to pop back out and ball to land in his arms and had the composure to finish. Just having a look at Adam Simpson on the Harvey Norman replay at the moment. He's just shaking his head, just thinking how boys are trying and just can't get reward for effort.
So he bounced it again. And Williams, the nice decisive tap, and then does his own roving. Hand pass to West. Man over here is Cripps. Goes back to Clark. Just tries to step around Harms, but Harms has got him. Holding the ball. Young man just tried to do a bit too much and was tackled by Harms, who comes wide to this near side back to Petrarca.
Like to know what West Coast's lowest crowd is. Maybe get producer Leachy here at Optus Stadium for a home game, because I reckon we might be pretty close to it today.
So West to Clark, hand pass inboard, bit of a volleyball slap by Redden, ends up back with Barris, has just nowhere to go. Has to go 40 metres back inside his defensive 50 and finds Edwards, who now finds Witherden.
Witherden has it. Could have gone further out wide, but decides to go through the middle. Diving mark was a good one for Petreski-Seton. As Jones comes off the ground, he was smashed as he tried to chase down the footy by Jackson. Petreski-Seton will kick it out wide. It's a good one. Out there is Winder, who takes the mark. Haven't seen a lot of him this season. So Winder, he gets onto his right and will kick it inside, attacking 50. Here comes Jack Darling, that is. Ball comes to the hands of Oliver. Quick hands from Bowie. His hand pass, though, smothered. Harrison Petty on hands and knees trying to paddle it out towards Lever. Bowie finds May. He slaps it on the boot, but it doesn't go any more than 10 metres. Cripps working hard to Darling. It's inside, attacking 50 for West Coast. Redden with a little bit of vision, but chopping in the way is Neil Bullen. That's dangerous now as the D's have it at half-back. Jordan Jones's kick is out in front of Tom McDonald. Rotham all over him. Rotham traps him up in a good tackle. Here's Ryan, throws himself on top of the foot. He could have got one high. Jordan working hard for the D's. Spargo to Neil Bullen. Gets it on the boot. It'll come off okay to Fritz. And now Fritz can kick it inside 50. It's one-on-one. Pickett hovering. He just bumps his opponent out the way. It'll be a free kick. Well played in the end by Witherden. Got his body on the line. And Pickett just bumped him out the way illegally, and he'll take it 30 out from his defensive goal. It's Melbourne leading the way by 39 points. We've gone 11 minutes for Triple M, and Ream Hot Water, built tough for Aussie conditions when it comes to water heating. Ask your plumber to install a Ream.
But the Eagles go to the far side. They've got numbers out here. Darling, little handball to West, tries to go short to find Cripps. He can't take it, but West goes again, picks it up, kicks it inside 50. Got a man on here. Taking a very strong mark going back, I think it's Foley. He's 45 out on a slight angle, Luke Foley. Not a man you normally see up forward.
He did well there, Foley, because he was coming back with a fly to the footy. It was a long kick in. He was in an awkward position, but had eyes only for the ball and took a good, courageous mark, not knowing what was coming from behind him. So West Coast deserved this.
So, for the first goal since the 3-minute mark of the first term, Luke Foley from 48, another renowned goal kicker. He's just missed it to the right-hand side. So 139, but he's 75-47, 12 gone in the second term. Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard. IJ Liquor, but Good Food deserves a great drop, as we'll get Joshy to keep an eye on Jermaine Jones, just seeing him lurking down there on the boundary.
Joshy's just polishing his MVP trophy there for the SPL. 2010 he won it, just so you didn't know that he was a fantastic sportsman. Here's Jones at left half back. We'll go short again. Might go to Joshy now just to get an update on the boundaries. Brayshaw takes the mark. Joshy for Bob Jones T-Marts.
Yeah, Jermaine Jones came down pretty rough after that contest. He was looked at by doctors, seemed to be given the all clear, so I think he should be all right.
Good on you, mate. Bob Jones T-Marts by a set of 4 monster wheels and off-road tyres, and entered to win a Austrac Telegraph X camper trailer as the kick goes inside attacking 50, stolen out of the hands by Brown, and then he goes to actually tackle his teammate in Petrarca. That's how keen they are to get hold of the footy, and about 30 out will have a ball up. The D's comfortable at the moment, but West Coast standing up to the challenge in this second term. As we throw it back in the air, McDonald and McGovern, the tap down to Viney, caught in a huge tackle by McGovern. He's certainly throwing his weight around, and then a little bit of push and shove results as well.
Is it weird that McGovern's rucking and Edwards isn't?
Yeah, you would have thought maybe Edwards just protect the Gov. Here's Petrarca, hands it off, just misses the target in. Viney has to bend down to pick it up. Rotham lays a good tackle right in the goal square, and we'll ball it up again. Well done to Rotham. Stop Viney in his tracks.
Govs just said, hey, Tommy Barris, your turn.
You have a crack. He's up against Tom McDonald, fist towards Waterman, who just paddles it over the boundary line, a minor score. So 7-6-48 now, the D's, 1-3-9, the West Coast Eagles. 14 gone in this second term.
Just having a look at the Harvey Norman replay there. McGovern's elbow a little bit close to Jack Viney on the ground in that last contest.
Jack Viney always finds himself somewhere in those kind of situations. Fierce competitor Jack Viney goes really hard at the footy as the Eagles have turned it over. Ben Brown's marked at 70 out, goes short inside 50. Mark can't be taken up there by, I think, Sparrow. Big tackle's been laid, and that's holding the ball. So Connor West has done some nice things in the second term. Of course, the West Perth man. Lockie, your team again.
Yeah.
Goes out wide to Rotham. Short, and the Eagles now have it on the far side wing. They come back to Rotham. He comes back inside his defensive 50 to Edwards. And if you're just joining us from the previous game, Carlton and the Giants, it's been one-way traffic here. The Melbourne Footy Club are well and truly in the control. They lead by 39 points. Brown's got a couple. Pickett's got a couple. West Coast just the one goal. They're on the far side, and they turn from Foley. Go inside 50, Ryan at the front of the pack. Williams comes from behind, taken by Kelly. Big tackles late on him. It's a hand pass out, though, towards Jamison. Ends up the hands of Dixon. This way, that way. Drop the footy. Strong tackles laid. Here's Kelly. He's just knocked over. Played for a free kick. And Bowie just thumps it out of the fence for the Melbourne Footy Club.
Barris has taken another mark, Beastie. Red Z lending stats. He's racking them up. And also he spoils as now McGovern has it. McGovern will kick inside, attacking 50. Maxi's hovering and Maxi's marking. It's far too easy for the big man when you're up against Ryan and a few boys like that.
Yeah, Barris 11 disposals, 7 marks already.
Yeah, he's having a big game.
Lending stats.
It's coming in his direction a fair bit, which is fair enough. And I'm not liking the kicking of the D's at the moment, Embers. If you're going to be picking on a team that's leading by 39 points, it's their disposal. They're just not hitting their targets, which is stopping them from maybe being in the lead by about 10 goals.
Simon Goodwin wouldn't be happy with this second quarter. Just taking the foot off the throttle here, Melbourne. Just allow West Coast to start to win some footy.
And this man's going all right in West. He kicks it inside attacking 50, but May stands in the way. So they've got all the answers, but if you're a Demons fan, you'd be wanting them to show a little bit more. And be absolutely, as Ember said, put the foot on the throat as the ball is still inside defensive 50.
I think a Demons fan just said that, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right.
There you go.
It's been a little disappointing, Beast. You know, they've been good, but not like we're expecting it, as Jones gets it on the wing, hands it off to Doug, and his kick inside the forward half of the ground for West Coast to be cut off by Hunt, and then Hunt will kick it to Rivers, and then Rivers will spread it wide to this broadcast side to May. And then May looks further afield. He's under pressure as he kicks it. It had to be spot on, and it was. That was an absolute bullet pass. And Jackson stands up with a bit of mud on the back of his shorts and takes the grab. Goes to Rivers. I want to try and move West Coast from one side to the other just to wear him out a little bit. Now it's with Lever. Kicks it out wide to the run of Hunt. He's a speedy little man. And he'll have two bouncers. Running after him is Winder. He does get it on the boot and kicks it inside 50. Fritz is at the back. Good fist though, McGovern. McGovern and Barra standing up as they should be. And they're earning every bit of dollars that they earn.
And West Coast still a +3 in the inside 50s, 9-6 this term. So definitely getting out played more on their terms on the Red Z Lenny stats.
7-6-48 the D's. The West Coast Eagles 1-3-9.
So McGovern back into the ruck. The two Max up against McDonald. Comes to Oliver. He's tackled strongly. Picked up by Jones to Foley. He's kicked it on the left. It's a torp. And it's gone out of bounds in the full 60 out from the D's goal.
Well, as B said, to the Eagles' credit, they've won the inside 50s in this particular quarter after being -16 in the first. So their effort's been good, and they just got to make sure they fight this last 5 minutes out.
I'll tell you what, Brayshaw was pretending to have a shot then from 85 metres out. Ended up going short towards Fritsch. He couldn't mark. It's taken by Jones, and a free kick for High against Harms will go Jermaine Jones' way. Good to see him back on the ground. I haven't mind his move to half-back, Ember's last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's got pace, and when you're looking at trying to get players with footy in hand and that are prepared to take the game on, he's certainly a player that has done that, and he's used it pretty well.
I reckon the biggest difference this afternoon has been the run. Every time West Coast get the ball, they just kind of stand still, and the D's are just so fast up and back to cover the ground. As the kick goes to the outer side, it's punched across and we'll throw it in. Going to be Luke Jackson and Callum Jamison going at it. Half forward here for the Melbourne Footy Club, and Jackson wins it down towards Oliver. Sharked though by Viney. Little hand pass over the top. Bit of run on the far side for Spargo, who's 60 from home, and goes towards McDonald, who's marked it with a second grab. He's about 30 out, hard up against the boundary line. Downstairs, Joshy Garlop.
The Norm Smith medalist, Christian Petrarca, bit of a false alarm. Just a bit of strapping on his finger, on his left hand. So he's heading back out there now, though.
Bob Jane T-Mart's buy a set of 4 Monster wheels and off-road tyres and Enter Twin and Austrac Telegraph X-Camper trailer. Thanks, Joshy, as McDonald from the pocket leans back and he's missed it to the right-hand side. 7-7-49. The lead's now 40 points. West Coast 1-3-9. 20 minutes gone in the second term. Triple M IJ Liga scoreboard.
So it'll be McGovern to kick out from fullback. 20 minutes now ticked over. The Eagles just needing a goal or two just to get reward for effort. It's been a better term for them. They've taken the challenge up to the D's. The D's just kicking the one after kicking 6 goals in the first quarter. And they led by 35 points. The margin a little bigger now, but West Coast have certainly been more competitive, which is good to see as Kelly's kicks out wide and it goes over the line and out of bounds on the full. So that's disappointing stuff, Andrew Embley.
Well, that's right. This is what West Coast got to make sure that they continue to take their game on, but be composed, because their turnovers, not just today, but this year, has certainly let them down.
The kick to the top of the 50. A big fist away from McGovern, but it lands in the hands of Langdon. He kicks inside attacking 50. The paddle down is a good one from Brown. The big man trying to bend down and pick it up himself and then hand pass it. But in the end, he missed his target in Pickett, and it'll roll over the line. 5 metres around from the D's goal. 7-7 plays 1-3, 21 gone in this second term. As we throw it back into play, Gawn's in front of McGovern. Taps it out wide to Petrarca. The skill of Petrarca with the check side won't make the distance. It'll be rushed through for a minor score. Well done by Edwards. Just got there, and Brown looks a little sore as well. Just hurt his hand or his wrist in a previous contest, and he's just holding it, looking a little sore. 7-8-50 to D's, 1-3-9 the West Coast Eagles.
Beastie, Red Z Lending's Ed Langdon seems a bit quiet.
Yes, he has been for his lofty terms. 7 disposals on the day so far, Tommy.
So he's been
coming off 39 last.
Yeah, and averaging almost, I think, 25 a game. So he's been quiet for the D's this afternoon. As West Coast now have it at half back. Darling, hand pass inboard to Petreski-Seaton. His kick, though, missed Waterman. And picking up is Brayshaw here for the D's. He's got a man free, right on cue on the far side in Langdon. Has a bit of time, goes back to Brayshaw. Kick back towards Langdon. We said he was quiet. And the tap comes away from him from Clark and goes across the line.
He obviously heard Gorn, another one that's been a little bit quiet by his terms. He's averaging a remarkable 20 disposals this season, the big man. So he's at just 6 today so far on the Reds Atlantic stats. So that could be deemed as bad news for West Coast. There's still a couple of big ball winners yet to get going.
Now, normally wrong, Beastie, but if you can find the time in the ruck, the split between Maxi Gawn and Jackson. So I reckon Jackson spent quite a bit of time in the middle of the ground.
Gawn's still got more hit-outs, 13-8 Jackson, but Jackson's definitely had more of the ball with 12s.
So a free kick's going to go West Coast way to the milestone man. Jack Redham, those old legs, beautiful pass and finds Darling on a lead. And that's the Eagles fans forgetting that Jack Darling almost won him a flag. As his kick goes inside 50, tackles laid by Winder. Eagles fans want holding the ball. Ends up our man Langdon pumps it out of the fence towards Brown. Takes a strong mark far side of the ground.
Is that his first possession, Jack Darling, Beast, or has he had a couple in the game?
That is his 5th.
Oh, 5th possession. I was just wondering what. Well, I was just wondering why they were.
He's the whipping boy, Locke.
He's the whipping boy. Yeah. Okay. The kick along the line. He tapped in the direction of Jackson. He's caught in a great tackle by Edwards. The umpire says holding the ball.
Done a couple of good things in this quarter, Harry Edwards.
He certainly has, Embers.
He's moved on to Ben Brown, so a good opportunity to play on a star player.
Dangerous kick through the middle of the ground. Could come off okay. Jermaine Jones dragged down. Surely that's a free kick. No, said the umpire. Here's Bowie. Short pass is good. Neil Bullen, just a worker. Real workhorse, this man. Chips it out wide. Went very wide. Harms said, could have gone a little shorter. I'm a bit exhausted. Here's Jones. Receives the hand pass. Kick inside 50. Far too easy. Petrarca on the lead takes the mark.
Well, he just has to steady now, Petrarca, and go back and kick this goal, because West Coast have certainly put Melbourne under a lot of pressure. They've slowed their ball movement down. I reckon in this quarter too, Melbourne just gone away from what they normally do. They've taken some kicks that haven't been on and just haven't had a good quarter for mine. So Simon Goodwin would be really keen at half-time to bring this Melbourne team in and just get them playing the footy they know that they can actually play.
So we're right behind Petrarca, and he's pushed it to the left-hand side. Not really a great set shot, Christian Petrarca. He fantastic on the run, superstar of the competition. If that's one knock, it's his set shots for goal.
Sometimes you see that with a lot of the big midfielders in the competition. They're really good on the run, but suddenly they go inside forward 50 for that set shot and miss some kicks that they really should kick.
So it's the D's by 42 points. Winners earlier today to Gold Coast. Had a nice win by 36 points over the Dockers, and the Blues too good for the Giants in Leon Cameron's last game. As we throw it in, 70 out from the D's goals. It's Gawn, a big strong hit out. Shark though by Jones for the Eagles. By hand back to Witherden. He kicks to the wing, and there's no West Coast Eagle in sight. And Bowie takes an easy mark. Wants to go quick and does inboard to Frothy's mate. His field kicking lock is a lot better than I thought it was.
No, he's terrific. Got a good long kick, and then he can hit up targets as well.
Kicks towards Maxi Gawn, puts the Dukes up, can't mark. Jones, he's been busy. Gawn dives in, just shovels it out. Kelly, little spin move, missed his boot, almost holding the ball. Viney just taps it towards half forward. Rotham picks up for West Coast, goes to Duggan. Has to get rid of it quickly and did. Here's our man Langdon inside 50. And the siren's going to beat them all. So the Melbourne Demons not as busy in that second term. Still 7-9-51. West Coast just the one goal for the game so far, and it came at the 3-minute mark of the first term to Jake Waterman. McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy.
That quarter for IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
For Ream Hot Water,
Triple M rocks footy.
built tough for Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install a Ream.
Triple M rocks footy in 3.5 minutes. 2 minutes. One minute. Thirty seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
'M rocks footy.
This halftime break for Bosch 18-volt bi-turbo brushless tools. One battery, corded power, backed by a 6-year warranty guarantee.
42 points is the margin here at halftime at Optus Stadium, Melbourne against West Coast. The D's are 7-9-51. They lead the Eagles 1-3-9. It was 35 points at quarter time. The D's off to an absolute ripping start, but they can only manage the one goal after quarter time. The West Coast Eagles just the one goal up until half time. And Andrew Embley joins me. He's a little lonely this afternoon. I'm feeling a bit sorry for him. Of course, the ex-man Xavier Ellis, premiership hero of Hawthorn back in 2008, usually joins us, but he's been struck down by the COVID, and he's riding horses at the moment. If you want a little bit of entertainment in your life, jump on the Instagram and look at the ex-man riding a horse. And I just say, don't let the kids look at it because
sorry
it's horrible.
for the horse.
That's right.
Sorry for the horse.
Very sorry for
And it's
the
not
horse.
a real horse, it is a toy horse.
That's
Even
right.
still,
Yep.
toys have feelings too, like you know that. And we question. Our well wishes were going out to X,
Yep.
but really our well wishes should be going out to the horse.
Fair to say the ex has no clothes on when he's riding the horse.
That's
but
right.
anyway,
It's gonna be a
it's
long
not an
7
important
days
issue.
for him, I think. Like.
Yeah, a long 7 days for him, I reckon. Anyway, for SKG Radiology, now bulk billing on all Medicare rebatable services. Embers.
Yes.
The ruck matchup. How have you seen that go so far? Young Jamison and Bailey Williams up against the stars of Gawn and Jackson.
Listen, they've competed, but just watching Gawn and Jackson, both of them, then their ratio at the moment is probably about 50-50. They're both getting certainly time on ball. I thought Luke Jackson's first quarter in particular, after starting on the bench, was absolutely outstanding. Gawn certainly winning the ruck contest, but the West Coast mids, to their credit, they just really started to go one-on-one in that particular quarter. Connor West spent a bit of time on Oliver and was able to nullify Oliver to only the 5 touches in that second quarter. But that, which I thought was a really, really good win. But at the moment, you just feel that Melbourne just have to go back to the way that they did in the first quarter. They started to be a bit sloppy with ball in hand. They started to overuse it a little bit. And to West Coast credit, their pressure was really good. They were able to, at times, force Melbourne into the turnover in that second quarter. Started to get the game played in their forward half a little bit. Definitely evened up the inside 50 entries, which they lost by 16 in the first quarter. But at the moment, they don't look like scoring when they go in there. So that's the issue for West Coast right now, is that when they do go in there, unfortunately, every time you look up, there's May, there's Lever taking those intercept marks.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the halftime break for Bosch Power Tools. Bosch 18 volts bi-turbo brushless tools, 1 battery, corded power, backed by a 6-year warranty guarantee. The concern for West Coast is, so Melbourne didn't put it together in that second quarter, but we know, having watched them this year and late last year, they can have a 5-minute patch where they can kick 5 or 6 goals and just blow this game completely apart. So it's like West Coast are hanging on. The effort's there, but how long can the effort last?
That's right. And to West Coast credit, they were able to maintain their intensity for a good whole quarter. And Melbourne, as we said, they're just a little bit sloppy with ball in hand. I think Simon Goodwin gets them in at half-time, and he gives them a good rev up, because that's not the Melbourne that we've come to expect. They can go to another level, and I expect that in the third quarter they will come out and they will really start to play the footy that they did in the first quarter. But I think from Adam Simpson's point of view, he'd be very happy with the way that they were able to just make it a contest in that second quarter. They certainly were able to win enough football, definitely won the disposals, and they got to continue to go at the game. I thought Jermaine Jones across half-back was outstanding. He's one player that is prepared to get the footy in hand and go really quickly. So he was a highlight in that second quarter for mine.
Good on you, Emma's. Choice Hotels around the grounds, Tommy. Need a break?
Yes.
Book direct and save with choicehotels.com. A couple of surprising results. The old Sonny's got the job done over the Dockers.
36 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Dockers just struggled to score. So a bit greasy conditions up there, and the Suns have been pretty good at home this year. They took it up to Melbourne. And, the Dockers, you would have thought they'd be a lock to win that game. And you said to me during the weekend, Bez, that you weren't so sure the Dockers would be able to go up there and get the win.
Well, yeah, I just think that the Gold Coast at the moment, they're hard team to sort of get a gauge on, because their best is really, really good. And anyone that goes to Sydney and knocks the Swans off the SCG is a good side. So I think on the back of that performance, and as we know, they're actually starting to become quite difficult to beat up there at the Gold Coast, and in those conditions where the ball's on the ground a little bit. Certainly it looked like today, from what I saw, that the Gold Coast Suns handled those conditions a lot better than Fremantle Dockers.
The two big men up forward, Nabia Chol, Levi Casbolt, kicked 6 between them.
Yeah, Levi's been a good pickup, hasn't he, for the Gold Coast Suns, and Scholl as well. But at the moment, we know how talented that young side is. They've got a lot of good young kids coming through. Great to see Rao back playing some really good football, and Noah Anderson's going to be a very, very good player too.
So if you're Alistair Clarkson and you're looking at teams, and we know he's officially said that, he's looking at all of the teams and going, well, I just want to win a premiership. Is it GWS or Gold Coast Suns? There might be other jobs, and Stuart Dew might get a new contract, but which one's a better team? Which one, if you were Alistair Clarkson,
if I'm looking at the next 5 years, I think the Gold Coast Suns right now, I know it's a very tough market up there on the Gold Coast, but
talent-wise on their list.
On their list right now, I think that the GWS, they've had a good shot at it. I think they are on the way down, but I think this Gold Coast side, and from what we've seen over the last couple of weeks too, knocking off Sydney, knocking off Fremantle now, I think they'll be certainly a team that you wouldn't mind maybe having a look at over the next few.
And the Blues.
Yes.
The 30-point winners over the Giants, Leon Cameron's last game up there. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with, I think, McVeigh taking over.
Mark McVeigh, yes.
Yeah, coaching what happens with the Giants after he comes in. They change things up.
Yeah.
A couple of the guys did well today. We're seeing pictures on the Harvey Norman of Leon Cameron kind of walking off. What do you make of Leon Cameron's career as a coach? Didn't win a flag, but still pretty competitive.
Oh, very good. So they played finals, I think, 5 times in the past
Should've won a
6
flag,
seasons.
Should have won a flag.
Should have won a flag. Well, they had an incredible list. They played, three prelims. The big prelim was 2016. I think that was their year. And I think the winner of that game was always going to, almost win that grand final, and the Bulldogs were outstanding. But remember how close the Giants were in that 2016 prelim at home, and Bulldogs won an absolute cracker. I thought that was probably the year that they played, had their best shot. Of course, they came up against Richmond in the 2019 grand final, which was always going to be difficult, especially those interstate sides coming up against big Melbourne clubs at the MCG on grand final day. So, listen, they probably should have won a flag with the talent that they had, but I think I love the way that he went out. It was a really good way. There was no bitterness. It's come across really good.
Looks like a great bloke. I don't know him. I've done press conferences with him, but he looks like just a ripping bloke, Leon Cameron. Hey, we're going to move on because you've spoken enough, Embers. You've taken up 2 people at the moment. I mean,
it's a mouthful I'm noticing right now. Like when you haven't got your
even
mate
made a mistake
to be able to, they're coming. They're coming.
Let's have a check so far as to whether you're part of the halftime Amy Clangers, who covers clangers on and off the field. Amy does. Joshy down on the boundary. Any sign of Swallow returning from the rooms?
No sign of Swallow just yet. There was a big thumbs up from the physio. I don't know what that means yet. Sparrow rather.
Swallow.
You set me up. No sign yet. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No sign of Swallow because he's not out there.
That's right. He's playing for Gold Coast. Anyway, that was my clanger, Joshy. Don't you worry. I'll take it.
Not on your birthday, though.
Nah, Josh, it was your mistake, mate. You text me saying, come down to me about Swallow. So I came down to you, and it was the wrong player. Anyway, it's 42 points. That's the margin here at halftime. The D's 7-9-51. The Eagles 139. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks Footy.
That halftime break for Bosch 18-volt bi-turbo brushless tools. One battery, corded power. Backed by a 6-year warranty guarantee.
For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M Rocks Footy.
Till Triple M Rocks Footy. Till Triple M Rocks Footy. Till Triple M Rocks Footy. Seconds till Triple M Rocks Footy.
60 seconds till Triple M rocks footy. Seconds till Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Beacon Trade, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert teams and a huge range of electrical products and services. Beacon makes every tradie's job easier.
The D's are leading the way here at Optus Stadium. 42 points is the margin over the West Coast Eagles. This is the halftime break for Bosch Power Tools. Bosch 18-volt bi-turbo brushless tools, one battery corded power, backed by a 6-year warranty guarantee. We're going to go to the Beast in a moment. But if I said 42 points at halftime, would the Eagles be sort of happy with that? Because we're all talking about a 100-point loss. 42 points, what are you thinking right now, Embers?
Yeah, I definitely think it was a much better quarter by the West Coast Eagles to allow Melbourne to kick the one goal in that second quarter after conceding 7 in the first quarter. I think Adam Simpson would be stoked with that. The challenge now for West Coast is to be able to see if they can do it again in this third.
Beastie, take it away. It's your moment. Like the young Rock, it's your moment.
Thanks, Lockett. It's really your moment, mate. 50th birthday and all, we know that. West Coast, leading the way for them was Kelly, 18 disposals, 4 clearances for him, so he had a big half. Redden, 15. Witherden and Duggan both had 14 apiece. Waterman was their lone goal scorer. And for the D's, Oliver had 16 and 6 clearances, coming off that big week last week for him. Petrarca, the usual suspects, 14 with 3 clearances. Jordan, 14 with 4 inside 50s for him. Petrarca also had a goal, as well. Brayshaw, 13 disposals. Jackson had the 12, as Ember spoke about, very busy. 7 hit-outs for him as well. Cozzy Pickett, 2 goals, and Brown had the 2 goals as well. Gawn had the 14 hit-outs. A bit quiet on the possession front, but we'll see if the big man gets going now. Melbourne were a plus 14 in disposals, a plus 14 in contested possession, plus 15 in hit-outs, plus 8 in clearances, and a plus 17 in the inside 50s. And that was the Reds Atlantic stats for the first half.
Good on you, Beastie. About to bounce the ball. Beacon Trade supporting tradies with over 100 stores nationwide. Expert trade teams and exclusive trade services. Huge range of lights, fans, electrical accessories, making every tradie's job easier. Beacon Trade, let's make light work easy. Tommy.
Just like you did with that live read, Lock. As we restart the third term.
Can I do it again?
It's a tongue twister for our good friends at Beacon Trade. McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy. The kick for West Coast from Kelly went to half forward. Turned over though. And now Langdon starting to get busy. Comes inboard to Neil Bullen. Bit of pace, just shrugs off past Jones. Inside 50 is Brown. The spoil came from Barris and goes across the line. Forward pocket here for the D's.
Did really well there, Tom Barris. A good kick from Langdon, and Ben Brown had the sit. He had to come back with the fly of the footy, not to give away the free kick, which he didn't, but to put a good spoil on. He's certainly standing up at the moment for the Eagles, Tom Barris.
He's into the ruck now, Barris, against McDonald. Tapped down to Nelson. He's tackled by Oliver. Umpire says I'll throw it up. Of course, we're here for Macca's on the way home tonight. Nice weather just to go through the drive-through, and this week I only scored 20% off your entire order when you spend $10 or more on the My Macca's app. As they're asking for a hold in the ball, the Eagles fans, and they're going to get it. And the free kick's going to go to Alex Witherden.
Well, Macca's would be missing out with X at home, though, wouldn't they? I suppose you can order delivery.
Get the app, Uber Eats.
I reckon they'll notice it, though, because I reckon X does a lot of that through drive-through in secret from the missus.
He'd be on the horse. He'd be on the horse, nibbling away at the cheeseburger.
Right. Can you imagine if you pulled up on the horse through the drive-through naked? I reckon you'd get some looks.
I haven't had the ISO, but are you allowed to go through a drive?
No.
I'm going to stay at home.
On a toy horse.
Definitely not naked on a toy horse.
In your car, Lock.
Right, it's okay.
Yeah, well, I live in an apartment building too, Tommy, so I couldn't go in the common area, so might be different.
Here's Viney, gets a hand pass away towards the boundary. Langdon's trying to gather it, then he's caught in a good tackle. Cripps is doing really well. Hands it off to the run of Kelly. Further afield he goes to Ryan. The speed of Ryan. He's running away from everyone. Runs to the 50. Wobbles one inside 50. Petreski-Seaton nearly marked it. May gathered. Hand pass a loose one. Hunt under all sorts of pressure. Taking in a big tackle. That was lively stuff from West Coast. In the end, Ryan probably should have gone for goal. He was only 50 out on the run.
Yeah, I think he tried to give it his best, but he was exhausted by the time he went to kick the footy, and it was a mongrel inside forward 50.
Still 42 points to the advantage of West Coast. Melbourne. Viney kicks it straight to Darling, who kicks to the goal square, and May takes the mark. He'll go short to Brayshaw in the right back pocket. 7-9 plays 1-3. So just for West Coast, 7 goals in the last 5 weeks, first half, if that makes sense. So the first halves of the last 5 weeks, they kicked a total of 7 goals. Just 1 up until half-time here at Optus Stadium. This is Spargo. Looks to the middle of the ground. Once again, a little too adventurous for the Melbourne Footy Club. Darling taking a good tackle. He's hovering over the top of it. He's not even trying to get rid of it, Jack Darling.
He just fell over.
He did fall over.
How slow did he look then?
So they're still in the centre of the ground. And we'll ball it up. Here's Tommy Atkinson for Triple M Footy.
All right, so Maxi Gawn's going to go at it with Bailey Williams. Gawn just taps it over the back of his head. Petreski-Seaton couldn't take it. Oliver, another clearance to Witherden. Maxi Gawn just tried to tackle him and fell over the top. The umpire says, I'll have it. I'll throw it up, middle of the ground. So West Coast trailing by 42 points. 3.5 gone in the third term. Another clearance comes the way of the D's. Bowie inside 50, going back with a flight. Max shows some courage, picked up by West for the Eagles. His kicks a grubber in front of Nelson. Can he pick it up? He can. Hand pass back to West. Bit of pace comes here through Kelly. This is the don't argue from Kelly. Goes out wide to Rotham. And Rotham, can he take the mark? He can. And good to see, Embers, that Big Max Gawn is up and about.
Yeah, that could have been serious there.
Didn't need to do it in the end, Maxie, because McDonald was coming straight at the footy.
With a fly to the footy, you are right there, Lock. Just didn't need to do it. But that's just showing what Melbourne are doing at the moment. They are courageous, and they've got the luxury at the moment. Jaden Hunt, he's got the job on Jack Darling.
So they're about 50 out from their defensive goal. Rotham will kick it straight into the hands now of a Demons player. Bowie just a little small to take the mark in the end. West to Waterman, now to Bailey Williams. So on the wing, far side of the ground. Making a charge now, West Coast, although this delay has meant that the Demons can get the numbers back and defend as the kick goes to the top of the 50. Climbing high was Rivers. He couldn't take it. Hunt will steal a hand pass. It was a loose one. Good tackle laid. Gathered by Cripps with the check side. Kicks across the face and through the goals. That was a real good kick from Jamie Cripps. Went the banana and smashed it through for a second for the West Coast Eagles. That margin getting a little smaller, 2-3-15 to 7-9-51. That's on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboards.
Well, love the way they've gone about it since quarter time, the West Coast Eagles. They've attacked the footy. They've attacked Melbourne with ball in hand, and they've won their fair share. Tim Kelly's been really good. Jack Darling hasn't had a big game, but his pressure then to be able to force Jaden Hunt into the turnover. Ball spills free, and Cripps, he's worked hard. He's up to 11 disposals now. Great check side from the boundary for his first.
So Jamie Cripps on the ball for the West Coast Eagles. They get their second, 2-3-15. Almost 2 quarters apart the goals as Redding gets a clearance. Hand pass to Kelly. Inside 50 to Ryan, one-on-one. Try to shove Hunt out of the way. In fact, it was Jordan. Strong tackle laid by Petreski-Seaton. The fans want to hold the ball. Umpire says play on. Gets to half forward now. Jones. He's got pace. Hand pass to Kelly. His kick's a good one. And Cripps has it 50 from home. He goes short to Darling. And Darling's marked it in the pocket for the Eagles.
And again, Jermaine Jones is showing a little bit of dash from half back. West Coast starting to win some footy. Tim Kelly's been enormous. We'll get his stats shortly from the Beast, but he looks like he's just having a field day out there at the moment. And when you move it quickly inside forward 50, you got options, and Jack Darling was able to get rid of Lever then.
So Darling in the pocket. Tight angle for Jack Darling. Just kicks it. And he might have pushed it across the face. He has. Goes through for one behind for Jack.
Exactly right, and there's Tim Kelly now, 24 disposals, 4 clearances on the day now for him, so he's winning plenty of the ball. He'd like to have a few of them back, I'm sure, but now starting to execute as well on the Reds Athletic stats.
Good on you, Beastie. We've ticked over 7 minutes now. West Coast certainly up to the challenge. It's been a productive start as the kick out goes towards the boundary. Kicking along the ground was Langdon, then he had to lay the tackle because it went into the hands of Rotham, and he drags him over the boundary line. We'll throw it back into play, wing position, just edging towards West Coast forward half of the grounds. Eagles fans finding some voice, their team showing some fight, but they're down at the moment. Needing a couple more goals to make it interesting as Jackson against Bailey Williams. The tap down, a good one to Sparrow. He kicks it high up towards half forward, 2 against 1, and the 1 will win. McDonald hands it to Pickett on the run. He kicks inside 50, and Fritz will take the mark, 45 out on a angle, and it might be a tough one, although this man, pretty much as we know from grand final day, can do anything.
He's a wonderful set shot kick, isn't he, Bailey Fritz? But again, just a little bit easy there by Melbourne from that stoppage. Luke Jackson, who started on the bench in this third quarter, he came into the ruck, and it's pushed Max Gorn forward. They just came out of it a little bit too easy, and it puts your defenders under pressure when the ball's delivered like that.
Fritz will kick for goal, and he's missed to the left-hand side. He was celebrating a little early, just had a bit of a swagger about himself as he kicked that, and then stopped halfway through. 7:10:52 to 2:4:16. 8 gone now, Tommy, in this third term.
So McGovern's going to bring it in for fullback for the West Coast Eagles. Just takes about 8 metres and kicks to Jack Darling on the far side, just pushed out by Lever. Ball gets to the back of the pack. It's Jackson. Williams has been shoved here, Jackson. It's going to go against Tim Kelly. Saw that in the Harvey Norman. And Luke Jackson just auditioning for perhaps his new team, Lock.
Yeah, could be.
Could it be the big $1 million move for the West Aussie to come home?
Do have the pick at the moment.
Yeah.
It's a pretty juicy one.
Not sure it'd be enough, would it?
No, I don't think so. Brayshaw as well, one of those players. Plenty of talk about maybe coming over here to the West if the Bees can't sign him up. The kick's a long one up towards the top of the 50-metre arc. Here's Petrarca. No one will be getting Petrarca. He's signed to a 100-year deal.
Brayshaw's a restricted, though.
Yeah. Is he restricted?
Yeah, or he's definitely a free agent. I think he might be restricted, I'll look it up, Lock, while you...
Okay. 7:10:52 plays 2:4:16. Ball thrown back in. Oliver tried to shark it. Now the hand pass again to Petrarca. It misses the target. Pickett couldn't trap it. Petrarca's back there again. Gorn just stands and delivers. He had ages to get that hand pass away. It was out towards Bowie, who just kicks inside 50. That spotted up Harms beautifully, and Harms will have to kick from outside 50, but he can kick a big ball, James Harms, so he's a chance here.
He can. Just the last 5 minutes, just from the contest, I definitely like Luke Jackson on ball at the moment. He's just giving Melbourne something, and just they could have placed away there, the D's, but they lowered the eyes. Harms was in the right spot.
So we'll see how he goes here. He's getting close to the man on the mark. He'll just run around a touch and kick it out of bounds on the full. Yes, it will be. It'll either be fisted over or it'll be out of bounds on the full. It is on the full, so the Eagles will take the free kick. McGovern's there to clean things up. 10.5, nearly 11 gone, and it's 7:10:52 the D's. The Eagles 2:4:16.
Triple M Reds leading stats on Jeremy McGovern, Beast, in 2 secs as the ball's on the far side. And she ends up in the hands here of Langdon. He goes back.
15 disposals for Gov today so far, Tommy.
So quite a lot for 2 and a bit quarters of footy for a centre-half back as Petty goes short. He finds Brayshaw. He is a restricted free agent, Lock.
Okay. So they have to match the offer.
Yeah, which means he's in the top 25% of Melbourne's pay grade. As a kick goes to half forward, the mark's taken by big Maxi Gawn.
He can kick this.
He plays on from 60. Embers wants him to kick it. He's tugged it left, a long way left, far too far left, out of bounds on the full.
Didn't make you look good there, Embers.
Oh, I said he can't kick it.
Yeah, didn't say well. Yes, that's true. That's true.
Simon Goodwin at the moment, just had a look at him on the Harvey Norman. Just a bit frustrated, and so he should be. Melbourne have certainly not been the same Melbourne as they were in that first quarter.
Yeah, it's been disappointing from a D's perspective, you'd have to say. Just the one goal, as you said, Embers, since late in the first quarter. Usually prolific when they are kicking at goals. As the kick inside 50's marked by McGovern. Now told to play on, he's in trouble. Petrarca's caught him and it's delivered out of bounds on the full. So McGovern trying to work out why he's been told to play on. Petrarca was pretty quick to jump onto him and he'll have to kick now from the boundary, Christian Petrarca.
Be careful he doesn't give away 50 here, Gov.
Yeah.
Lots of arms thrown around.
I've seen a lot of 50s get paid this year for a lot less than that.
So Petrarca tight to the boundary. Will really have to screw this around. He kicks towards goal and celebrates. The track's got it. And the D's have kicked their 8th. Petrarca's got 2. They're 8-10-58. The Eagles 2-4-16-12, nearly 13 gone on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert teams and a huge range of electrical products and services. Beacon makes every tradie's job easier.
So have a look at the Harvey Norman at the moment. McGovern's taking an intercept mark. He's gone to, I reckon he's probably a bit stiff there, McGovern.
Yeah, absolutely.
I reckon it should have been 50 metres against Petrarca.
He didn't step off the line.
He
went to kick, but he didn't actually step off his line, and Petrarca was right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
He was actually in the area, Petrarca. Petrarca has to move away from the protected area once McGovern takes the mark. So West Coast stiff, and Petrarca, well, he makes West Coast pay.
Of course, in the Harvey Norman, need a new laptop or mobile. Shop Harvey Norman. We have all the big brands at Harvey Norman. They certainly do as West. Gets a clearance for the Eagles, goes inside 50. Running back is Petrescu-Seaton, just runs past the ball, and Lever has plenty of time to come out wide. And the mark's been taken down here by Sparrow, I think, for the D's. Just no pressure coming from Waterman. So the chip kick towards Gawn. He's strong in those contests. Just the big long arms out the front of Jamison. Hand pass off the run here from Jordan. Has a bounce, just sizes things up. Goes inside 50 towards Brown. Duggan from the side, couldn't mark. In fact, it was Barris. He's tackled strongly. Will throw it up 40 out from the D's goal.
Petrarca now up to 15 disposals, 7 tackles, 3 clearances to go with those 2 goals. Now getting a break too on the interchange on the Reds End Lending stats.
Thanks, Beastie. Reds End Lending, loans for the self-employed. The Bronx cheers means one thing. The free kick's going to go to the Eagles. And we've got a Tommy Barris at half back, about 30 out from his goal.
There's a lot of hair in that little 5-metre patch with Tom Barris.
Well, he's a new dad, lot.
Luke Jackson. Have a look at Luke Jackson as well. That is a lot of hair for a man who knows a lot about hair and appreciates it.
The longing lock.
Couple of long lops. They're like mops running around in the forward 50 at the moment. Ball's been kicked out anyway by Barris.
Shouldn't get envious on your birthday.
As I drool at the haircuts out there, we'll throw it back into play. Just forward of the wing for the D's. The tap down, beautiful pick up. Viney over the top to Harms. He wobbles one inside, attacking 50. It's going to bounce awkwardly. The Eagles under all sorts of pressure. The tap to the advantage of Barris, and he hand passed it straight out of bounds. He was under pressure though, and we'll throw it back into play. Only metres around from Melbourne's goal. The Eagles fans finding a little bit of voice. A few boos as well. The tap down from Jackson to Viney. Hand pass along the ground to Oliver. Tricky one towards Cozzy Pickett. He's taken legs. No, said the umpire. Jackson to Harms. Now he loses it as he just hand passes up in the air. Spargo's hand pass to Sparrow. Now to Brayshaw. He just wobbles one inside, attacking 50. Oh, good courage. That was terrific by Foley. Put his body on the line, charged at it, knew a couple were coming at him, and he took the mark 20 out from his defensive goal.
Goes short to Waterman, inside his defensive 50, goes out wide to Rotham. The Eagles need to go quick here because the D's just run back in numbers and just take up all that space. Rotham's just going to have to kick it to where he would have 30 seconds ago. A high ball. Maxi Gorn's going to stand there. Free kick's going to go to the Eagles for a push. For Jamie Cripps. In fact, it's going to be Jamison. So Jamison hasn't been too bad in the ruck, Callum Jamison, the youngster. Pumps it inside 50, going back. May over his head. Goes through the hands of Lever. Darling gets it by hand. Hand passes off here to Clark into the pocket and found Williams. So Bailey Williams right up against the boundary line. He's about 15 out. You think he'll probably have to run around on the left, Embers?
Be interesting to see. I haven't seen him kick the ball on the left too much, Bailey Williams. So whether he's going to go with a right foot check side from here. But him and Jamison have been swapping the ruck a little bit like Gawn and Jackson have done.
He goes the check side. Williams he's done a pretty nice job. No left foot, no worries for Bailey. The Bananas at home to get West Coast third, 3-4-22. The D's 8-10-58. The margin 36 points, and the West Coast putting up a bit of a fight. And that's on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert teams, and a huge range of electrical products and services. Beacon makes every tradie's job easier.
Well, one thing about West Coast today, they haven't gone away from taking the game on. They've been prepared to take the one that they see, and at times they've turned the footy over, but the message from Adam Simpson would be just keep going at the game and things will happen for you. And listen, they haven't really looked like scoring, but a couple of great moments in this third quarter, a couple of great check side kicks from Cripps and now Williams have got them a couple of goals in this third.
There goes Embers. Seabus Super making hard work pay off as we bounce the footy back in the middle again. Jackson against Jamison. He tried to get the kick away, kicked off the ground by Harms. Duggan, though, first to it. He's brought down in a tackle as he tried to kick it. And a couple of metres away from the centre circle, another ball up.
West Coast nice and even in the inside 50s this term again too. 7-8 in favour of Melbourne on the Red Z lending stats.
Pretty much since quarter time, Beastie. They've been impressive in most stats, you'd have to say.
And the clearances too, 6-6 this term, even in the second term as well.
All over it, Beast, as the ball goes inside attacking 50. McDonald couldn't mark it. Pickett charges at it, brings McGovern down. We're only 15 metres away. McGovern just gets the hand pass away. He's been terrific. Kelly now into the hands of West, and West Coast are full of run. He gets pushed over as he kicked it. It'll be a free kick down the ground. Winder will take it. Ryan's off to the races here. The Demons need to get back. They're looking the goods, West Coast. Winder's kick is a high one up towards May and Ryan. Well done by May. Had the height advantage. Punched it down. Here's Langdon. Little bit of a fumble. The D's under pressure. They've lost it again. Winder shakes off the tackler. Now it's with Hugh Dixon. He looks inside 50. It's not a bad kick. It went shorter than we thought. Ball was punched out of the hands of Clark, and Clark's taken the mark, but he's a good 55 out. Now, he is a good kick, but I reckon this is too far for him. Decides just to kick in the direction of Bailey Williams. The tap down to Winder. Winder's there caught in a tackle. Demons under pressure right now. West Coast really playing some good footy.
Well, they are, and it's been a great challenge for West Coast to be able to maintain their intensity, which they've certainly done after a really poor start. Melbourne kicked 6 goals in the first quarter. Since then, the game has been really even.
So Petty just kicked it twice out of mid-air. Ends up with Langdon into the hands of Viney, who clears for the D's. But going back is Foley for the Eagles. Marks it, 70 from home, called to go, and does. Kick smothered. Touched, picked up by Cripps. Has to go quickly by hand. Does to West. Can't get a foot to ball. Ends up here in the hands, I think, of Foley. Back to centre half forward. Rotham with courage. Just runs through. Ryan's put a big bump on. He's going to be looked out for that. He's bumped Bowie straight in the head, I reckon, Embers.
Looking forward to seeing Harvey Norman on this one. Viney, he's having a wrestle with Clark. And West Coast has certainly got Melbourne.
Yeah, they've ruffled their feathers.
They sure have. Still haven't seen the bump yet.
And something else happened behind the play with Clark as well, Locke.
Yeah, Viney and Clark were going at it, Tommy, as the ball's moved up towards the wing position. It's 8-10-58, the D's, 3-4-22, the West Coast Eagles. Now a kick inside attacking 50. Can they respond, the Demons? Flying high, Fritz, he couldn't take the mark. Duggan's there defensively, hands it off towards McGovern to Rotham, now to Edwards. The defence has been pretty good since quarter time. Now back to Duggan, he's turned it over, he's kicked it straight into the hands of Langdon. Langdon will get a free kick. He hand-passed it towards Pickett, who was in a little bit of trouble. And the free kick will go down the ground, only about 10 to 15 metres, but Cosy Pickett will take the free. 55 out, 8:10:58 to 3:4:22. So it's been pretty much since quarter time. 2 goals apiece for both teams. So it's not like it's top versus bottom at the moment. It's been pretty even stuff as the ball was kicked tight to the boundary, fisted over. Here's the replay on the Harvey Norman.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he's in trouble.
He's in big strife.
That's Liam Ryan we're talking about.
Yeah, he'll get a week for that.
Yeah. Hit Bowie in the heads as we throw the ball back into play. Tap down to West. He's been pretty good. Tried to take on the tacklers. Just got it away to McGovern. Here's Barras. A little awkward. Charging through with Sparrow. Knocks it to his team's advantage. Here's Big Brown. He bends down. Now trying to get rid of it. Loose hand pass it was. Eagles fans want a free kick. 45 metres out from Melbourne's goal. Packle form. Umpire says give it to me. We'll have another crack with the ball up.
And exactly right, Lock. Connor West up to 18 disposals now, 7 in the term, coming off 21 disposals and 2 clearances last week on the Reds Athletic stats.
36 points is the margin, Tommy. The Demons led it, 22 gone in this third term.
So McGovern gets the hit out, doesn't really clear the zone though at half back. The D's by 36, like Locke said.
You're going to take that margin every day of the week, aren't you? It doesn't matter whether you kick 3 goals for the game. If
Absolutely.
You're losing by 36 against the top team when you're sitting at the bottom with this team out here.
Here's Petrarca, just shakes it, going for his third. It bounces. And bounces to the right-hand side, so just the one behind for the track. 8:11:59, the margin out to 37 points, 23 gone in the third term on the Beacon Trade scoreboard. As the Eagles bring it out and go short and find Nelson.
Considering West Coast, they come off a 109-point loss to Richmond, 75 last week, up against the best team in the competition. They've fought back after a really slow start.
So Ryan just punched that one on the near side wing for the Eagles, but the D's have the numbers. And here's James Jordan, near side wing.
And West Coast lost Gaff, Hearn and Kennedy.
Yep, that's right.
Leading into this game.
But Jordan goes long to half forward. McDonald goes up, just kind of hip and shouldered out of the way by Barras. Picked up by McGovern. His hand pass goes nowhere. Duggan's got it now for the Eagles. Hand pass to Clark, to Kelly, to West, inboard to Waterman. Bit of run now for the Eagles. That kick, though, goes behind Foley. He has to stop, prop, mark it, and then go to Rotham. Here's Liam Ryan all by himself, and the kick has gone over his head and straight to the Demons.
Sparrow has it, kicks it to the middle of the ground. The D's can run on now. Fritz has taken the mark. Few sore bodies at the moment. He goes short to Spargo. Got Oliver out wide. He looked and didn't go. Oliver's standing all on his own and decides to go in the other direction, but it's not a bad option because Petrarca has taken the mark on the lead, playing a little bit of forward stuff in this third term.
And Rotham, he's got his head hanging very low at the moment. He was the one that missed Liam Ryan. And then the ball goes down the other end, and he tries to find Petrarca, and Petrarca leads up on him and takes the mark. And this will be a double whammy here for Josh Rotham if Petrarca can go back and kick his third.
So Petrarca from 49, I reckon, when he kicks the ball. McGovern coming off to the cheers of the fans. Christian Petrarca sends it on its way, and he misses to the left-hand side. There's another ugly kick from the track. 8:12:60, plays 3:4:22. Joshy Garlop on the boundary for Bob Jane T-Marts.
Veteran forward Jamie Cripps just getting a bit of attention from the West Coast's medical team for a hand. So a couple finger-hand injuries today so far, and Jamie Cripps one to watch this week as well.
Good on you, Joshy. Bob Jane T-Marts buy a set of 4 monster wheels and off-road tyres. And answer to win an Austrac Telegraph X-Camper trailer.
So the Eagles now at half back. I had it through Petreski-Seaton. He went short to Duggan, back to SBS on the left. His kick is a nice one, finds Jamison all by himself. Wants to give to Winder and does. His hand pass puts West in all sorts of trouble. Beats one, beats two, beats a third. Finds some space, kicks it inside 50. Williams and Waterman over the back. No mark can be taken. Instead picked up by Rivers. His hand pass to Neil Bullen for the D's. Goes short to Sparrow. Sparrow to a one-on-one on the far side. Jones, going to be a free kick here. It's going to go the Demons' way, and they've got runners everywhere. Oliver by hand. Here's Fritsch, has a bounce, got a man over the top. It's Spargo. He's 50 out from goal, goes short, and McDonald's got it. Could have raffled that one, the Demons. McDonald, 30 out, slide angle, should go back and kick Melbourne's 9th.
Again, West Coast, they're trying hard, and they go inside forward 50. They get a really good contest in there, but unfortunately this particular time, which they've done pretty well since quarter time, is they weren't able to lock the ball in. And once that ball got out, Melbourne just looked like they had numbers streaming inside forward 50. They had a number of options. Tom McDonald was this time, he was the pick.
Goes back, Tom McDonald, straight as a die. He's got 2. And the Demons have a bit of momentum. 9-12-66. West Coast 3-4-22 the margin. 44 points, 27 gone. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Hey, can I ask, so we're talking a lot about how West Coast have been really courageous, and they have been. On the flip side, I know Melbourne have won, 16 in a row.
Yeah.
This has been a poor performance from them today. Aside from that first term, members, when they kicked 6 goals in the first term, after that, it is, 3 goals to 2.
And sometimes, and no disrespect to West Coast, but sometimes when you come up against a side that you're expected to beat and beat really, really well, it doesn't necessarily always go your way. And people are thinking that Melbourne should win by 100 points today. West Coast have been, a lot better, and Melbourne have been off. And I think that's probably been the difference in the game. But as we know with Melbourne, they've got the ability to be able to turn it on really quickly, and they can kick 10 goals straight this last quarter.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. This has been an interesting little game as Bailey Williams has it. He kicks it inside, attacking 50 for his team, but Rivers stands tall and takes a good mark. He'd be one player that West Coast wouldn't mind. Trent Rivers. I think he's got another year on his contract, and he looks pretty happy over there in Melbourne town, but it'd certainly be the sort of player West Coast to be keen to try and grab hold of us somehow, as Brown does well. Now the run again of the D's. This is Vine. He had to go backwards to get it to Spargo, and he was caught in a pretty good tackle by Ryan. And it'll be a free kick. So Ryan's caught him and thrown him to the turf.
He doesn't even know it's his free kick.
No, holding the ball, said the umpire. 9-12-66, plays 3-4-22, 28 gone in this third term. The kick's a dangerous one, but okay. Witherden. Hand passes further afield to the run of Jones. There's the siren. Another interesting quarter. The D's are comfortable at the moment, but the Eagles have been pretty brave. They're an undermanned team right now. 9-12-66 Melbourne. West Coast 3-4-22 for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy.
That quarter for Beacon Trade, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert teams and a huge range of electrical products and services. Beacon makes every tradie's job easier.
For McDonald's,
Triple M rocks footy.
This week only, score 20% off your entire order when you spend $10 or more. Only on the My Maccas app.
Triple M rocks footy in 3.5 minutes. 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 1 minute. Thirty seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
'M rocks footy.
This quarter for IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
So it's 44 points the margin here at three-quarter time. The D's lead the way. They're 9-12-66 over the Eagles, 3-4-22. Plenty to talk about as we get ready for this final term. A lot of frustrated Demons players down there. They're just shaking their heads. Not sure they believe what's happening at the moment. I'll come to you in a moment because Joshy Gallup's a little more important than you at this stage. Bob Jane, T-Marts. Joshy.
Thank you very much, Lockie. We spoke to it earlier. There's been a bit of an incident at Perth Central Station earlier that's impacted people coming to the game. The West Coast Eagles have just tweeted public transport update. An early incident at Perth Station has been resolved after the game. Direct train specials may still be impacted though, so please follow the direction from the staff at the stadium station. So the trains will be moving post-game for those travelling by train, but there will potentially still be delays.
Good on you, Josh. At Bob Jane T-Marts, buy a set of 4 Monster wheels and off-road tyres and enter to win an Track Telegraph X-Camper trailer. Bob Jane T-Marts looking after us on Triple M Footy.
I went and saw Bob Jane during the week.
Did you?
Yeah.
You know him personally?
No, Ember's hooked me up with the one there at Claremont.
Right.
Got some J-Tracks.
Is that right? What are they?
Buy 3, get 1 free.
Okay.
There you go.
Are they
Bob Jane?
Are they bigger, fatter tyres?
I did get a bigger one for the Triton.
Right.
J-Tracks is their own brand.
Did that make you feel a bit more manly?
It did, yeah. Got a wheel alignment, thrown in. Nice. With something. No, they're very good people down there at Bob Jane.
Up there on the
fishing for the sand dunes and stuff.
Tommy's a big fisherman out there, Tommy. He's like Rex Hunt.
But he doesn't kiss it and give it back. He takes it all.
I wasn't sure where you're going to go there.
Well, I couldn't think of any other fisherman.
All right, as we we start the final term. The Demons by 44. The first clearance has pushed the Eagles' way, but he ends up with the Demons. Here's Oliver from 50. Hand pass over the top. Spargo from 40 for the first goal of the final term. Just almost marked on the line by Maxi Gawn, but he's just rushed it through, one behind. Melbourne 9-13-67. The margin 45 points, 25 seconds gone in the fourth term.
So the kick out will come this broadcast way, you'd think, although Witherden tricked me because he looked out this way and then went short into the left back pocket to Barris, who's had a really good game, members, Tommy Barris. I know the ball's come down a lot, but he's had it under control.
He has put on some very good spoils. Him and McGovern have been very strong in that back half.
There's a big kick down the line. It'll be cut off by Jackson, who handed it straight over towards the run of Kelly, who wants to give it off to Ryan. Here's a chance for West Coast. He'll kick inside attacking 50. It's a high one, and May just gets back. He's a terrific defender. Just ran off his opponent, went to help out Lever, and fisted over for a minor score. So 9-13-67 plays 3-5-23. That is on the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop. I might pop in there tonight.
You deserve it, Locke.
Yeah. Have a nice
Happy
red.
birthday to you.
Surely your family bought you a nice red for your 50th.
Let's hope so. At IGA, I'm sure they would have gone, Tommy, on the way home from the Crown.
Well, if you haven't got it yet, that's a no. As Rotham just picks it up out of the kick. Came out of defence from May. McGovern working hard. Jones picks it up and he's just pushed across the line by Viney. We'll throw it in.
Tim Kelly's had his best game for the West Coast Eagles, I reckon, the last couple of years, to be honest with you. And he's had a bit of pace about him today too. When he's got football in hand, he's been prepared to take it on. He's up to 28 disposals now.
12 of those contested on the Reds' Eds as Jackson went it down to Oliver. He fell over. Foley just shoved by Jackson. That'll be a free kick. So Luke Foley on the wing. Advantage paid to Redden. Went back to Foley. His kick is going to go out of bounds in the full. Be taken back there by Harrison Petty. It's half back here for the D's. They lead by 44 points. 2.5 gone in the first term.
The kick along the line in the direction of Gawn. He's up against 3 though. Foley a bit of a fumble, but he does well to pick it up. Now he's caught. Just shovels it out towards McGovern. He hand passes to Kelly, tight to the boundary. He was over, in fact, as he kicked it. So we'll throw it in right in front of the dugouts. The Demons dugout here at Optus Stadium.
And just on Tim Kelly, Embers, 31, 31, 34, 42, his best ever for the Eagles. So 4 times 31 plus as an Eagle. So we're on that watch. We'll see how he goes. But his career high, 42, was as an Eagle.
There you go. Thrown in. They got happy birthday up on the big screen.
Well, Locke, I tell you what, they said it couldn't be done.
Right.
But I pulled some strings.
Tommy spared no expense.
There was no Lockie Reid, though. There was about 100 other names.
Well, Tommy had his limitations. He did have a hot hand, it's rumoured. So
there we go. Petrarca to Oliver, trying to spin out of a tackle, just gets the hand pass away. Now it's with Brayshaw. He kicks it in the direction of Gawn, who's charging at it. Just can't take his marks today. Comes out towards Jamison. His kick's going to be awkward for the defenders. Well done, Petreski. Satan to Kelly from 45. He's missed it, Kelly. That would have absolutely got the Eagles fans up and about. And Kelly misses to the left-hand side. 3-6-24 the Eagles. The mighty D's 9-13-67.
That hand pass might be the best thing I've seen Petreski-Seaton do in an Eagles jumper. He's very sharp. As the kick goes to the outer wing, Barris is there. I think he's given away a free kick. In fact, it's going to go to Barris. No advantage. They're going to have to bring it back, which is a shame because Dixon had it all by himself at half forward. So the big mop, Tommy Barris will take it on the far side wing, being held. Potential future captain, I think, Tommy Barris.
Yep.
27, long-term deal. Of course, Luke Shuey's struggling to get away from the injuries and find himself in the side. Who will the other couple be, Embers? Oscar Allen, Liam Duggan?
Yeah, I think Tom Barris will be the next one, and then you would expect that Oscar Allen would be the one after that.
I heard a chat with Oscar Allen during the week, and I don't think he sounded very confident he'll play this year.
No. So, from what I'm told, early on in the season, a lot depended on how West Coast were going.
Okay.
They would have rushed him back from the injury, but if they were struggling, as they are, then there's no need to get Oscar Allen back.
Might be off for a couple of seasons then, it seems like.
Yeah, he might just... no, he'll be back next season.
As West bursts through, tries to kick it from 40, doesn't make the distance, ends up in the pocket. Spoil comes from Petty. He sees it across the line, will throw it in. I see what you did there, Beast.
Almost one past him on his birthday. Let's just test him out.
Boundary throwing.
I was over it, Beast.
20 out from West Coast goal. The D's lead by 43.
So ball to be thrown back into play. 5.5 gone. Will the D's explode, or can the Eagles just hold on, keep it to around this margin? You walk off the ground pretty happy with your performance. Once again, it's 45 outs after a couple of tackles have been laid, and we'll ball it up again. Jackson taps it down. Redden has a fumble. Petreski-Seaton once again good hands to West, who's been pretty good. Kicks it high, running at it. Dixon just went straight through his hands. Hand pass a loose one. Here's Petrarca in the air as he hand passed to Spargo. Spun around to Harms. This is Jordan, goes out wide to Oliver. The chip pass to the feet of Max, so he'll get it back again. No, he goes in the direction of Jordan again. Now to Max, can kick one over the top to Oliver. And at left half forward, 70 out from goal. The Eagles fans say that wasn't far enough. Oliver says, I'll play on anyway and send it inside attacking 50. Fritz, no, McDonald's takes a good mark, just bumped McGovern out the way, and from 20 out should go back and goal straight in front.
Oliver there, he was one that blasted that one inside forward 50. Been a bit quiet since quarter time, Oliver. Up to 24 disposals now. I had 11 in the first quarter. But McDonald there just showing his strength. He worked his opponent, McGovern, underneath the footy. good contact on him earlier and should go back and kick his third.
And he kicks towards the goal and he's happy with himself. Tommy Mack kicks another goal. He's got a couple to his name now. And the Demons, he's got 3 in fact to his name. Thanks, Beastie. 10-13-73, the D's to 3-6-24. Beast looking after me today.
Well, Embers said it just before that.
Did he? Yeah. When did you say?
I said he should go back and kick his third.
Oh, right.
That's all right. A lot of people do switch off when Ember speaks. I don't blame you. It's your birthday, look.
Maybe I'm going deaf as well.
And to be fair, sometimes Ember's math is a little bit sus.
Yeah. Oh, I can get it wrong.
It's easy for me to say, look at the computer.
Very good at the parties, though, Beast, you reckon?
Oh, awesome.
As a 15-year-old.
Hostess with the most.
Hostess with the mostest, you reckon.
Red's Beastie.
Yes.
Greg Clark on the Red Zeds just seems. Is he quiet tonight, or have I just missed him out there?
10 disposals, Tommy.
So a bit. And here he is, right on cue. Gets a free kick. Yeah. Clark just pumps it out of the middle of the ground, inside 50. The big spoil comes from Lever, just thumped it 30 metres forward. Williams for the Eagles picks up, hand pass to Waterman. Out wide, here is Duggan. Doesn't want his right side, but takes it anyway. Inside 50 to Darling. Strong hands from Jack. A nice pass from Duggan on the right foot. And Jack's marked it. He's 30 out straight in front and should kick this one.
Hasn't had many opportunities today, Jack Darling. And when West Coast have gone inside forward 50, there's been no real good, clean entries. But that particular time, he got a good run and jump at it. The kick from Duggan, as you said, Tom, was outstanding.
But Jack just trots in, just clop, 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 and knocks it in. The West Coast have their fourth. Jack gets his first. 4-6-30. The D's 10-13-73. The margin, 43 points. Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
So really after quarter time, 6-1, and Melbourne looked like they were going to really blow this game apart. The West Coast have really worked their way back into the contest. They've been strong around the contest. Their mids have found a lot of footy. And Adam Simpson would be happy with the effort because they haven't dropped off. And their challenge now is to fight this game all the way through to the end. But there's some positives to take away from this performance from West Coast.
It's clear. I think the D's are just trying to win by 50 points for their number one supporter, I reckon.
Oh, wouldn't that be fitting?
Do you reckon? I reckon that's why they just took their foot off the gas.
There's a good Red Z letting stat there. Loans for the self-employed Beastie as we're in the middle again. Kicked off the ground out towards Spargo. He traps it, thrown around by Duggan. Just got the hand pass away to Jordan. Fritz, he's in trouble. He's caught by 2. That'll be holding the ball. What are other tackles, Beast, with the two teams? I know sometimes tackles are teams that are behind, but today it's more intent than West Coast.
Yeah, +5 for West Coast, 50 to 45 on the Red Z Lenny stats.
They've been desperate. That's something that Adam Simpson will talk about, I reckon, at the post-match press conference and to his team. They've been impressive. Here's Viney, just kicked it away. Neil Bullen runs onto it, needs to get rid of it quickly. Goes to check side inside attacking 50. McDonald trying to trap it. Here's McGovern, who's had a terrific game. Gets away the hand pass to Duggan. Goes back by hand to Rotham. He snaps it round the corner and Clark's fumbled the mark. He was just off balance. Jordan will gather and kick inside 50. Oh, Fritz has taken the mark. Can lob one over the top. Spargo, open goal. Bang she goes. The margin is edging closer to 50 now, Beast. It's 11-13-79. The Eagles 4-6-30. And for Seabus Super making hard work pay off is the Norm Smith medalist from way, way back in 2006 when TV was black and white.
It wasn't that long ago, Lockie. But we had some good times back in those days.
I know you did. Yeah. Everyone knows you had some good times.
There's a lot of black and white vision.
Set it up well, didn't I?
Did you see that even when the Eagles are going bad, some of the people in the media have been bringing up Ember's Dane. There was a picture of him in a story.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey.
What was it? This wouldn't have happened on Ember's watch? Was that the headline, Tom?
One of them said, this is worse than 2006.
Jesus. I think that's a bit harsh on this current group.
As we ball it up again, the D's out to a 49-point lead. Little toe poke in the middle from Sparrow. Ends up here with Vine. He just paddles it forward inside 50. Foley goes in. That's going to be a high tackle. Free kick's going to go here to Neil Bullen, I think. Yeah, it's a high contact. Neil Bullen 30 out straight in front.
And West Coast has got to make sure that they don't let this game get away from them, because they've been very good. Their pressure's been great, but as we know, Melbourne have got the ability to be able to score really quickly. They haven't had a great night, Melbourne, compared to what we've seen from them so far this year. But they can still have an easy 10-goal win.
So Alex Neil Bullen straight in front and kicks straight too. So he goals. Melbourne get their 12th, 12-3-85. West Coast 4-6-30. The margin 55 points as we get to about halfway through this fourth term. Triple M IJ Liga scoreboard.
It's just a few mistakes. We saw Greg Clark just drop a mark before, and they're able to kick a goal. They get a centre bounce clearance. They kick another one straight away. So, a couple of quick goals on the back. A few mistakes that West Coast have made. Let's just have a look at Harms. James Harms looks like he's into the rooms.
Yeah, on the Harvey Norman.
Joshy Garlip on the boundary. Bob Jane teammates might have an update.
Yeah, as Emma's just touched on, James Harms ran straight to the rooms. He was having his hamstrings worked on the sideline. He was closely followed, though, by Cade Chandler. He is the sub for Melbourne for today.
Good on you, mate. Ream Hot Water built tough for Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask a plumber to install a Ream. We're back in the middle and the Demons want to go forward again. Here's Viney to Gawn. A couple of goals in a row for the Red and Blue boys as he chips it out wide to Langdon, and then Langdon will spread it as well. Beastie, Red Zeds for Langdon.
He was going a little bit quietly now, up to 18, Locke.
Yeah,
So
he started well, didn't he?
He was a bit quiet to start, in fact. Okay. But I led you with that, Locke, to try to work you in there.
It's this buffet. It's really caused mayhem for me. I sort of fell asleep, I think, in a food coma earlier on, and I'm just coming out of it now as there's a free kick far side of the ground. Neil Bullen, the last goal kicker, will get up.
I'll tell you who's worked into a nice little set line is Viney. 22 disposals, 12 tackles, 7 clearances for him now on the Red Zed lending stats.
Sounds like a good game, Beastie, as the kick goes inside, attacking 50. Pack or form. Fist heads towards the boundary line. We'll throw it in 15 to 20 metres around.
He loves it hard and tough, doesn't he, Viney? He had a couple of moments in that third quarter where West Coast went quite hard at him and a few tackles. He loves that kind of stuff, and since that, he's actually been even better.
55 points, the Demons lead. We've now travelled 14 minutes in this final term. McDonald doing the work on the ground. Hand pass out towards Langdon. He gets dragged down in the tackle. Here is that man, Viney. Somehow gets it to Petrarca, to Gawn. Went with the left footer. Good smother, though, from Foley. Pickett, back to Gawn. 35 out. The big ruckman kicks towards goal. And he's missed to the left-hand side. Minor score for the D's, 12-14-86. West Coast 4-6-30.
He's just lacked a bit of polish today, the big Maxi Gawn. He's dropped a couple of marks, missed a couple of kicks. Still a bloody star, though.
So Duggan, the big kick after running out from defence. A nice mark by Dixon out there up against Lever in a one-on-one. So we think the Eagles have been better tonight, Embers. What do they do next week with Gaff, Hearn, Kennedy, Shuey, Yo? Are they going to run into that same problem where they just bring them all back?
More than likely. This is the West Coast problem at the moment. They're trying to field a side, and when they've got players coming back, these players have come back in, but there's some young kids at the moment that you like seeing, and certainly Jones across half back persists with that. Wind has been okay.
As the D's have moved the ball into the middle of the ground to Brayshaw. He kicks it long to a one-on-one. McDonald just got rid of Barris. In fact, it's going to be a block, and the free kick will go to Tommy Barris. Let's go downstairs. Bob Jane T-Master Josh.
Just making his way back down to the boundary from the rooms. Gigantic ice pack on his right hammy. No official word yet whether he's been ruled out, but by the size of that, it's about the size of my head. You think potentially...
Quite large then?
Yeah. Oh, all right.
You said that, Joshy.
Goes with the ego, Joshy, as the ball's inside attacking 50 and rolls out. No, that is Joshy is one man. Doesn't have a big ego.
No.
It's the opposite.
Embers, on the other hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Josh is the only bloke on the team that doesn't have a big ego.
Exactly right. And we're having a crack at him for having a big ego. Anyway, 45 around. We'll throw it back into play. Good on you, Hollywood, too. Actor, superstar, young rock. Look out for it. The beast is part of the show. Here's Langdon, tight to the boundary. We'll just kick it back to the middle of the 50. Duggan charged at it, couldn't trap it. Here's Fritz. He's pretty handy around goals. He's kicked one. Snapped it round the corner. Any chance he gets, he pounces on it and kicks it. And there's another goal. 13-14, 92 the D's. The Eagles 4-6-30, 17 gone.
Yeah, just from a stoppage, Dan, and certainly in the second half, though, their stoppage work's been pretty good, Melbourne. They've been able to win some footy. Dangerous kick to a real awkward spot, and Liam Duggett, he come back with a fly to the footy. Just couldn't take the grab. I thought the contest from Ben Brown was important. That's what you want your big forwards doing, competing, bringing that ball to ground if you're not going to mark it. And once that ball hits the ground, they've got dangerous players. And Fritz, who hasn't had a big game, but gets his second.
A little bit nervous. I've got to throw down to Joshy. Can you throw down? You throw down.
We'll head down to Josh for Bob Jean team months.
Good on you. Thank you.
The ego here on the boundary, guys. Kay Chandler will play his 8th game of his career, second for 2022, and he's headed to the half forward for Melbourne, the South Australian.
Thank you, Joshy Garlett. Bob Jane Team Arts is another clearance. Almost went Melbourne's way, but West caused a turnover. He's been good this afternoon, Connor West. Bit of fight and grit from the West Perth player. Kicks that wide towards Winder. He just fell over. Should have kept his feet and picked it up, but he battles away second again. Back to West, thumps it inside 50. The mark's been taken there by Petreski-Seaton.
Exactly right, Tommy. Connor West now 26 disposals, 5 clearances for the second week in a row for him with the 5 clearances.
This will be Sam Petreski-Seaton first goal as a West Coast Eagle, if he can kick it. 20 with the Blues.
He's still not really quite sure what his position is at the moment, Petreski-Seaton.
So he leans back from 30 and he's hit the post. He played a half back the last couple of weeks and just looked like he's just rolled forward now.
And I thought that's the reason why West Coast got him over here to play across half back. Clearly that hasn't worked. They've gone with Witherden and now with Jermaine Jones. I think he's got a bit more speed, and certainly you will keep persisting with Jermaine Jones across half back, which means that Petreski-Seaton's going to have to play in another position.
92 plays 31. The D's are out here. Petrarca's hand pass releases Viney. He runs up towards left half forward and then kicks inside, attacking 50. Wow. What a kick! That was spot on. Right onto the chest of Fritz, and he'll go back from 30 metres out. That was measured perfectly.
It was a very good kick, wasn't it? So they were off to the races then. I thought they might have been able to run and handball because there wasn't too many options inside forward 50, but the kick just had such penetration that Fritz, who looked like he wasn't going to get there, in the end landed in his arms.
So Fritzie's already got a couple to his name. There's one of the heroes of the grand final, and usually is a good kick, and he's happy with that one. I might have just snuck it in, he said. Just snuck it in. Another goal for the D's, the margin getting bigger. That's his 3rd of the afternoon. 14-14, 98, the Melbourne Footy Club, and the Eagles 4-7-31. That is 67 points. Joshy once again on the boundary for Bob Jane Team Arts.
Yeah, Liam Ryan potentially in a bit of strife this week with a hit earlier in the game, but he's actually been ruled out for the rest of this game with a hamstring injury for himself. So tough news here for West Coast despite a fighting effort against the Demons.
That is another injury concern for the Eagles. That is continuing to trouble them, isn't it? A lot of hamstring injuries at the club.
They have, yes. They've had a shocking year with injuries and also players unavailable with ISO.
Got some 7,488.
Big news, Lock.
Well, you have.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
I'll just give it to you after this clearance as Oliver's tackled. You would never guess what's happened to Patrick Naish.
What's happened to Patrick Naish?
He's wearing his actual jumper.
No, they finally got one.
So we are round 9, Embers. They finally got jumper 43 made.
Oh, there you go.
And I'll tell you what, he is a very good-looking side out there, Patrick Naish.
And he'll get 5 minutes of game time in it. Terrific stuff.
So taken here by Duggan in the middle of the ground. But in all seriousness, Nizzy said it in an interview during the week, their relationship with Castor, who's their apparel sponsor,
was that
will be over, he said.
Yeah. Well, when Nizzy says that,
they're looking for ways to get out of it.
Does he tell you your career was over as well?
Well, he did. I said, how many more years have I got left, Niz? And he said 0.
So Jamison just takes it away. Hand pass to West. He's been busy and strong. Ends up in the hands here. Fish just dumps the ground. Foley.
Push.
That's dangerous.
Really
and he's
dangerous
still
tackle.
down.
And I reckon he might be...
he's going to get reported.
Tackle. Yeah. He'll get reported for that.
That didn't look very good at all. And it's Luke Foley who's laying on the ground. He's barely moved. We'll try and see it on the Harvey Norman, but in real time, that looked a real dangerous tackle. Just take him with the ball and twisted and thumped to the ground. And let's hope he's okay. I think it's the first. Is it the first game or two?
Yeah, is it Chandler?
It is Chandler who laid the tackle, yeah.
So you feel for young Chandler because, he's into the game. He's just come on as a sub, replacing James Harms.
Trying to assert himself a bit.
Hasn't played many games. I think only his second game for the season. So trying to be hard and tough, and unfortunately he's run down Foley. Dangerous tackle, driven him into the ground. Harvey Norman's going to pick that up, blindsided him, and he'll probably get a week for that.
Need a new laptop or mobile shop, Harvey Norman. We have all the brands.
The good news is that Luke Foley's up, sitting on his bum, and he's got his head up in the air, so that's some good news for Luke Foley. But it didn't look good. Jack Darling straight away signal for the medical team to come out, so you think he's going to go straight off and not come back on this week and not play next week.
But it was more the angle. It wasn't any sort of malice in it, was it? It was
no malice. It just kind of went with him. So,
as Ember said, he was just trying to go hard.
So you think Chandler will probably get a week. What do you reckon Liam Ryan gets for that bump?
At least one, could get 2.
Probably won't be a concern because he'll probably miss with a couple of weeks with a hammy anyway. But I reckon possibly 2.
Yeah, because he ran over the footy.
High, ran past
over
the footy.
The only thing that might save him is because there's, I think, I'm not sure, I can't remember who he actually made contact with, but it's actually okay. So maybe it's
kept on playing
low impact, but that's one that they're really trying to stamp out.
You'd have to say medium impact, high, so
in
intentional.
The play. Yeah. So Petrescu-Seaton's hand passed it off to McGovern. He's gone from 60. The big Gov's just gone bang. Snuck down into attack and kicked a goal for the West Coast Eagles. 5-7-37. The D's 14-98. The margin at 61 points as we get towards the 25th minute mark in the fourth term. Triple M IJ Liga scoreboard.
Well, Jeremy McGovern's been a real highlight today. He's been really solid in that back half. He's found a lot of the football. Him and Tommy Barris, I think, have certainly been outstanding. 22 touches now for McGovern. And he's worked really hard, and just that finish there from 55 was a beautiful penetrating kick.
First goal of the season, 37th of his career from McGovern.
Been really good beast, don't you worry about that. He's had a great game. Here's Oliver, out to Petrarca. He'll kick it inside, attacking 50. Jackson against Barris. Two boys go at it. Barris did really well to get the hands to it. Charging at it and doing a lot of work on hands and knees. Chandler trying to get it out towards McDonald. Now to Sparrow, caught in good tackle by West. Play on, said the umpire. Kelly trying to get rid of it. He kicked it straight into Langdon. Aussie Pickett just shoveled it out. Could have been a throw. Here's a little 1-2, Langdon and Brayshaw. And then Langdon slaps it on the boot. Inside attacking 50. Once again, Barris with the big fist. Jackson hovering as well. Edwards. Barris hand passed it. Cozzy stole it. Cozzy kicks. And Cozzy goals. Like a good small forward, he just hovers around a third for Cozzy Pickett. And another goal for Melbourne. 16-14, or is it still 15-14? 15-14, 104 to 5-7-37. That is the margin at the moment. 26 gone on the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboards.
Well, Cozzy Pickett, he was the small forward in the first quarter that really set Melbourne alight. Just his busyness. He was just around the contest a lot, and that particular time there, just watching him on the Harvey Norman, he just stays involved, and he's always on the move, and he just picked that. That was outstanding. He saw what was going on and he was in the right spot, but he knew what was happening and then just had the awareness to snap it over his left shoulder. Good finish.
16 disposals, 6 inside 50s and 3 goals to go for Cozzy Pickett.
Bob James team mark for Josh.
Oh, yeah, as expected, Luke Foley headed back to the rooms for potentially a concussion check. A lot of attention there from medical staff after a big dump.
So, streaming out of the middle is Tim Kelly towards Darling. Has to spoil from behind. Ball hits the bottom of the pack. Going past is Jamison. Froffy's May picks it up. Hand pass back stolen by Darling. Just flips it over the top towards Winder. Can't pick it up, but he can on the second try. A little banana kick. The D's, though, they relieve the pressure and come out wide here to Spargo. Oh, it's a beautiful turn. Just picked it up and turned away from Duggan. Comes inboard and he's fine. Pickett, who on the left has men on. And the mark's going to be taken out wide here by Sparrow. So Sparrow for the D's. It's a dangerous ticking board, but Petrarca's just floated onto it, marks it inside the squares, kicks though smothered by Waterman, ends up in the hands of Oliver. Back to Petrarca. He falls over when he kicks it, but his kick's still good enough to find that man again. Pickett, 48 out, almost straight in front.
Fortuitously there, wasn't it? The kick from Petrarca. He made a couple of mistakes there. First one kicked into the man of the mark. Second one he slips over as he kicks. And Pickett, who has just been busy, a couple in the first quarter, and now lining up for his second in this last quarter.
As Pickett from 50, very slow, deliberate. It's a high kick. It's just being tugged a fraction. Bit of a draw in golfing terms. It misses to the left-hand side. The Demons now 15-15, 105. West Coast 5-7, 37. The margin 68 points. We've gone 29 minutes in the fourth term. IJ Liga scoreboard.
Rotham has it in the right back pocket. He'll go back across the goal square and try and switch it to the far side through Witherden. His short pass, not a bad one. As West Coast might turn it over, though. That third kick wasn't very good at all. Here's Cozzy. Gave it to Oliver. They're mucking around with it now as Petrarca had plenty of time to kick it to a teammate, and he kicked it in between 3. And the mark's being taken by Naish. He'll kick to the middle of the ground to West. His hand pass is a beauty to the run of Kelly. Had to get rid of it quickly to Dixon. Then Dixon hand passes went to Shepherd and turned it over, and then another turnover. Spargo gathers it. He was dealt with roughly. Here's Chandler. Gives it off to Petrarca. Petrarca will kick inside 50, and the mark's been taken by Tom McDonald. Witherden wants it touched. Umpire says no, and McDonald to go back from 40 metres out on a slightish angle.
And West Coast, they want to take the game on. Tim Kelly was good there running through the middle of the ground, but Dixon just lacked a little bit of composure, and once they turned the footy over, and we've seen that all year for West Coast, they just you can't stop it on the turnover.
So McDonald kicks for goal. He's usually pretty straight from anywhere inside attacking 50, and he's got another one. So too of the Demons. They'll finish off with a big win here at Optus Stadium. As expected, 16-11, 111. A fourth goal for Tommy Mack, and 5-7, 37 as the Eagles score. 30 minutes have gone in this final term for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks Footy, and Embers as well.
And when you have a look at West Coast's performance today, you say, well, they've competed.
Second best performance of the year, I reckon.
And
the win over Collingwood.
And they're going to lose by nearly 80 points.
Yeah. Well, would you disagree with that?
I think
they Gold Coast in the first week.
The endeavour's been there today.
There's been a lot of good moments for West Coast today. They've had 2 really good quarters. The second and third quarter were outstanding.
This is West Coast season, so 27-point loss to Gold Coast, and knocked off, of course, Collingwood.
Yep.
Lost by 55 to Fremantle, and then got pumped by a few other sides. So it's Baldwin now goes inside 50 and just kicked through from one behind by the D's.
Chandler, I think, kicked that.
Yeah, so 75 to Brisbane, 109 to Richmond, 84 to Port, 63 to Sydney. So that win over Collingwood by 13 points. And then probably this one right up there, Embers, is one of their better performances. As Melbourne through Rivers, just kick inside 50, no mark taken. Witherden at the bottom of the pack, picked up by Edwards, gives it to Witherden. He's just tackled by Pickett. The umpire says push in the back. It's the free kick will go Witherden's way. He goes short to Rotham. Still inside the defensive 50. Josh Rotham. Little chip kick over the top to Jack. As Bronx cheers are going now, Jack's kicked the goal. He's in the near side wing here, Jack Darling. Called to play on and does. It's a high kick, about 40 metres to the wing. One-on-one, Dixon and Gawn. And Gawn just uses the gadget arms, leans over and knocks it across for a boundary throw-in. It's the margin gets out now for West Coast. It sits at a big healthy 70, 85 points. So it's all going Melbourne's way as Dixon taps it down. The clearance by Redden in game number 250 to half forward. Darling, nice little tap to Petreski-Seaton. He's tackled strongly. Picked up by Winder. Got to shovel the hand pass out. Taken the D's. Ended up with Jordan to Oliver. A big tackle laid by McGovern on Oliver. Dixon picks it up for West Coast from 60. Little spearing ball that's been turned over though. And Stephen May has it for Melbourne. In trouble. Darling's chasing him though. Puts the pressure on. His kick out of defence. Marty by Connor West.
So West has taken the mark. We're ticking down to the final siren. The Diesel do it easy in the end. West has been terrific for West Coast though. He kicks to the goal square. Pack climbs. Waterman tried to kick it out of mid-air. Now he picks it up. He's going to be caught here. Just got the hand pass away. Naish quickly slapped it on the boot and misses to the left-hand side. Minor score. And they'll play on quickly, the D's. Is there another goal in them? As time ticks away. They've got about 20 seconds to get from one end of the ground to the other. They'll be probably happy with this final margin as Viney has it. 45 out from his defensive goal. Short to Brayshaw. Now to play on. And kicks it long in the direction of Tom McDonald again. Had a terrific game, but Edward stands tall and takes a really good mark. The siren will sound. The D's enjoying themselves once again at Optus Stadium. 16 in a row. They're going to be hard to beat in 2022, the red and blue. Melbourne once again keen to take out the premiership. 16-16, 1-12. They defeated the Eagles 5-8, 38.
It's a high-flying flag. It's the emblem for me and for you. It's the emblem of the team we love, the team of the red and the blue. Every heart beats true for the red and the blue, and we sing this song to you. Should old acquaintance be forgot, keep your eye on the red and the blue.
Pretty handy win in the end for the Melbourne Footy Club. The West Coast Eagles, they put up a fight. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But the D's, it's all about the D's. They jump to the top of the table once again. And this team is going to be hard to beat. Embers, as we await an interview with Christian Petrarca, just give us a quick summary of your views of this game.
Well, I thought West Coast certainly competed. They tried hard, had a good second and third quarter. When they were able to really slow the ball movement down from Melbourne, they put pressure on the D's. Melbourne weren't clinical, but you just show how good they are. Let's go downstairs to Christian Petrarca.
Should I say 70-point victory, come over here and get the job done. It was really professional effort.
Yeah, I'm being a bit selfish now. Probably just frustrated with my set shot, so it's something I've been working on, so to see it not come out gets quite frustrating, as you understand, but to come back here, it's really special for us now. Obviously we obviously won the premiership here, so for us to come back here on a 4-day trip was awesome, and we're playing against a team that is probably struggling, but for us these are the games where we need to put the foot on the throat, and for us these are the games where we probably sometimes the colours can drop a little bit, so for us we need to come out firing from the first quarter, and I thought we did a really good job of that. And they fight. They're a great competitive team. They're going to come out here and go hard, so we need to match that.
Someone who really set the game alight was Cozzy Pickett, and he finished the game strongly as well. Had 20-odd disposals, 5 shots a goal. He's an electric player to have in your side.
Yeah, he's unbelievable, and there's a lot of talk around his form early on in the season, but what people don't understand is the pressure in the defensive side of the game that he puts on, and then kicking on 3 or 4 goals is what the cherry on top. So for us internally, we just take pride in him in terms of his defence, his attitude. We don't care how many possessions he's getting as long as everyone just plays their role. And I think him, Charlie Spargo, they just do that every week in, week out.
Now, you're a bit frustrated, but one goal that you did kick, you gave a bit of a gesture to the Eagles fans. What was all that about?
Just a little bit of crap. No, they'll give me a bit of stick because I didn't man the mark properly, so I probably should.
Yeah, Jack Redden heading off as we speak. Well done, Christian, acknowledging 250 games. But Jack, get over there. Appreciate your time.
No,
and
thanks, guys.
Good luck next week.
There we go. As they said, Jack Redden was chaired off the ground, 250 games. He's been a terrific player for the West Coast Eagles.
He has, yes, and in particular in 2018 when West Coast won that grand final. He had a very, very good year, in particular that final series where he was named player of the final. So 250 games, outstanding effort. Of course, started his career at the Brisbane Lions, but has come to West Coast. He spent time on ball. At times he's been pushed out to a wing and half forward, but certainly not a night that he'll remember too fondly, but he's had a very good career.
So 17 wins, I reckon, in a row for Melbourne. We'll count them. I reckon it's 17, Leachy, but put you on the spot a little, but we'll count them. I think 17 wins in a row.
Go with 17, you reckon? They're doing it quite easy at the moment, the D's.
I'll count it.
Nice and easy.
Yeah, no, well, they're going okay. 32 shots to 13. Petrarca was talking about his goal kick. He did look really frustrated three-quarter time, shaking his head. They were trying to pat him on the back. He kicked 2 goals for this afternoon.
Well, he could have had a big day out. Could have had kicked 5 goals easy, Petrarca. He's an absolute star, but his standards are very high, the Norm Smith medalist. And whilst a lot of people would love 28-2, he's certainly a player that would have probably liked 28-4.
Alrighty, absolutely fantastic. So you reckon it's 16, Leachy? Leachy's our producer. I asked him could he do the maths, and he's come up with 16.
16. Well,
is that right?
Jake Bowie, that's game 16 for him today.
Yep.
And he's won 16 straight.
Leachy. Do I have to apologise to Leachy?
Absolutely not. It's your birthday, Lock.
It's my 50th.
It's your 50th, mate.
You
can do whatever you like.
16-16, 112. Melbourne defeated the West Coast Eagles 5-8-38. And, of course, Macca's, I'll be getting stuck into that. Had a buffet this afternoon, but feeling a bit peckish now. I'm sort of...
I reckon you go round 2, you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon. This week, only score 20% off your entire order when you spend $10 or more, only on the My Macca's app. And we'll get the choice hotels around the grounds. Tommy, just give us an update on the scores from today.
Yep, of course, it was earlier on, the Gold Coast Suns upset, an upset over the Fremantle Dockers. They won by 36 points up there in some pretty, I'm not sure it was wet conditions, but it was just kind of dewy embers and a bit kind of humid.
Yeah, they just didn't adapt to the conditions, did they? Fremantle compared to Gold Coast, just a little bit, just a bit fumbly, and anyway, they'll be disappointed with that performance. But Gold Coast, good win to them. They've gone back-to-back wins now.
And Carlton won by 30 points over GWS in what was Leon Cameron's last game as coach.
Good for Carlton. Really good for the competition too.
Yeah, so that leaves us
big club
with the ladder right now. So Melbourne are on top, your boys, Lock, 36 points, undefeated, a percentage of 159%. So some massive percentages this season with North and West Coast getting blown out of the water. Brisbane are now outright second on 32 points. They are 4 points clear of Freo and Carlton, who are in third and fourth. Sydney and St Kilda are 1 game further back on 24 points. Geelong and Richmond round 8, the top 8. So knocking on the top 8's door, the Western Bulldogs, Port Adelaide, Collingwood, and now Gold Coast are all just 1 win outside of 7th spot. Embers, any of those sides can you see making a run in the back half of the season? You weren't listening, were you?
I was listening.
Okay.
I'm just sort of having a little look at what you sort of said there.
So the Bulldogs, Port Adelaide.
Port Adelaide are probably the side there that I think are certainly in probably really good form at the moment. They've won the last 4, have they? Port Adelaide now?
They're on a bit of a run, Port. And the Bulldogs, of course, on 16 points as well. They're probably the 2. You think Collingwood and Gold Coast might just finish outside it. Hawthorn 12 with Adelaide. GWS just 8 points. Just the 2 wins for them. The same as Essendon horrible last night. They're on 2 wins.
Easy, guys. Come
terrible
on.
beast.
It's a weekly thing. You don't say last night.
Have they been the most disappointing team this year?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah,
showed a bit of fight last week and then dropped away.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, them and West Coast, really.
Well, not really. West Coast, a lot of people thought West Coast would finish second last.
Downward swing, yeah. But we, the Bombers, looked like we were on the upward swing last season and hasn't turned out that way.
Well, many were predicting them to even take out the premiership. I think Mick Moldhouse said at the start of the year they
could win it.
Premiership contenders.
Yes.
So next week for these two footy clubs, so Melbourne, they play North Melbourne next week at Marvel on Saturday afternoon. So you think they'll boost their percentage yet again. And then West Coast have the Giants away. So good luck to them away. Let's go downstairs and get the song thanks to Fox Footy.
It's the emblem for me and for you. It's the emblem of team we love, team of the red and the blue. Every heartbeat's true for the red and the blue as we sing a song to you. What we sing should all acquaintance be. We got to keep your eye on the red and the blue.
74-point winners for the Demons. They were absolutely terrific this afternoon, defeating the West Coast Eagles. Interestingly, you walk away and you go, well, they were good. West Coast were on their knees, but put up a fight. 74 points is Melbourne's biggest win over the West Coast Eagles ever. So maybe we overestimate what Melbourne are doing at the moment.
I think so. And sometimes when you come up against sides that you're supposed to, beat really well, you take the foot off the pedal a little bit.
Are you brought back down? Back down to that level?
Yeah, I reckon you are at times as well. So, you start to overuse the footy a little bit because there might be a few more options in a game that you don't normally see.
And we saw that regularly, didn't we? Even a couple of times Max Gawn, went for the chip pass and
little switch
not
kicks.
The sort of
it's not what Melbourne do they? So they'll take that. They weren't at their best, but you're a good side when you know that you're not at your best and win by 74.
All right. McDonald kicked 4 lock.
Yep.
He was good again. He probably holds his spot, or definitely holds his spot. Pickett 3, Fritsch 3, Petrarca with 2, Brown with 2, all the rest single goal kicks.
They haven't got many to come back into this team. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head who comes back into this team. Salem's the only one. He's been out long term.
Yeah.
I still think he's a couple of weeks away. He'd be the only one that would walk back into this team, and he's a pretty handy player.
Very, very important player. So, Melbourne are fine. They're going very well at the moment. As I said, 16 straight now for the Demons, and they'll knock off North Melbourne next week, make it 17 straight.
19 is their best winning streak, and that was back in the 50s when you were born, Embers. Anyway, the Triple MVP Award, homeloans.com.au. Think about it. I know usually you have X next year to help you out with the MVP, but not this time. Homeloans.com.au, the fairest and best when it comes to home loans. I'll come back to you because I want to go to the Beast first and give you time to think about it. Take it away, Beastie.
Thanks, Locke. Yeah, leading the way for West Coast was Kelly. 32 for him he finished with, which is good enough for top 5 as a West Coast Eagle in his career. 5 clearances as well. West had the 29 with 5 clearances, so another good week for him. His season average is 16, so almost double that. 5 clearances for the second week in a row for the young West Perth kid. Duggan, 26. Redden in game 250, 20 disposals with 5 clearances. And for the Ds, Oliver led the way, 29 disposals, 7 clearances. Petrarca, 28 with 3 clearances, 7 tackles and 2 goals for him. Viney, 27 with 7 clearances and 12 tackles. Langdon with the 24. Brayshaw, 24 disposals as well. Pickett, 20 disposals with 3 goals. Gawn had the 17 disposals with 25 hitouts. McDonald, 4 goals. Fritsch, 3 goals. Brown with 2 goals. And the Ds were a plus 54 in disposal, a plus 19 in contested possession, a plus 26 in hitouts, a plus 10 in clearance, and a plus 24 in inside 50s. And that's a Triple M Red Z lending stats for the night. And happy birthday again, Locke.
Thank you, Beast. You're a good man, mates. Absolutely. Hey, we might do the Triple MVP Award for homeloans.com.au, homeloans.com.au, the best and fairest when it comes to home loans. Hey, Tommy.
Yes.
Could you get an Eagles player in a 74-point loss? Would you pick? I mean, McGovern was very good.
McGovern was good.
And Barris was superb.
Tim Kelly was good.
Tim Kelly was superb.
Also, I
Connor
think
West
Connor
had a
West
great
had a very nice game, I thought.
So surely maybe,
nice
you could slide maybe a West Coast Eagle in. 74
I'm thinking to myself more like 2 West Coast in.
Well, then you definitely lost the
3.
plot. If you put 2 in, as Xavier always says, we're going to have to breath test you.
No, I reckon an Eagle has to get in. I reckon.
Do you reckon? Liam Duggan wasn't bad.
I don't reckon.
Yeah, absolutely.
No.
All right. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, go. Drum roll.
1 vote. Jeremy McGovern.
Oh, no.
Absolutely outstanding today, Jeremy McGovern.
Wait a second. You put an eagle in.
West Coast would have lost by 120 points.
I
It wasn't
agree
for
with you,
Jeremy
Embers.
McGovern in
I'm
that
with
back
you.
half.
Knuckles, mate, Knuckles.
He was outstanding. He laid some very strong tackles.
Did some ruck work.
Did some ruck work inside
He
his
was very
defensive
good.
50.
Kicked a goal.
Kicked a goal as
Yeah.
well. And if it wasn't for Jeremy McGovern, West Coast would have lost by a lot more. So I thought he was outstanding today, and I've been able to sneak him in for a vote.
I'm with you. I'm totally with you.
He's been probably the biggest highlight, I think, for West Coast this year.
He'd be
from that hip surgery.
He'd be leaning their best and fairest.
Yeah, he missed a couple of games.
Yeah.
Probably still. He had hip surgery, and I suppose tell
He
me.
had a good attitude tonight. I thought his attitude was really good. Not that he never has a bad attitude, but he just had real aggression about
Sometimes
him.
when he lays those big, strong tackles, you know that he's playing with a little bit of pride.
My mail
Yes.
is that he had that hip injury he had for a couple of seasons and was really
struggling,
debilitating.
Yep.
He had surgery in the off season, came back quicker than what they thought, and was moving like a 2018 Jeremy McGovern.
He looks like he's lost a bit of weight
he's
as well.
playing
He's
good
trimmed
footy.
down a
He's
ton.
playing good footy at the moment.
He didn't go to the buffet with me.
No, he might head after.
Get some Maccas on the way home.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's right. All right, so one vote, Jeremy McGovern. 2 votes I'm going to give to Cozzy Pickett. I thought he was a live wire tonight. I love the way that he went about it. He started off really well, got Melbourne going in that first quarter, kicked a couple, ended up with 3 goals, 20 disposals, playing there's that small sort of forward pocket, got up the ground, used the footy really well, and was just busy all night and just liked the way that he went about it. So, going to give him 2 votes.
And not Tommy Barrett's 3. Didn't give Tommy 3.
3 votes might surprise you a little bit, but
C.
I thought he was absolutely
Jamison.
outstanding. Not C. Jamison. Jack Binding tonight, I just thought he was hard, he was tough. He had 12 tackles. He had 27 disposals, 7 clearances, and when you're sort of looking at Oliver and you're looking at Petrarca, who were probably a little bit below their absolute best, I thought Jack Viney tonight, over 4 quarters, put in a very, very good effort. So they had a lot of contributors tonight, and be interesting to see where the coaches put their votes, because Melbourne did have a very good even spread, but liked Jack Viney's performance tonight. He was hard and he was tough, and I'll give him the 3.
I reckon you've done pretty well there, Embers. Triple MVP award, homeloans.com.au.
Just forget, Petrarca, was he in there?
Petrarca,
No, he wasn't good today. He was,
Yeah, but I would have. I would have moved Gov out and put Petrarca in.
What was? Give me the red Zeds on Petrarca again.
28,
It's not all about
28,
possessions, mate.
3 clearances, 7 tackles, 2 goals.
28, he had 9 in the last quarter when the game was done.
I'm with you, Embers.
Yeah. So
You're my
7
man
tackles,
today.
2 goals though. So he was.
he had
I'm
a very
too.
good last quarter that made his numbers look very good.
Oh, hard judge, Embers. Hard judge.
Homeloans.com.au, the best and fairest when it comes to home loans. You butt out. But, I shouldn't say that. No, I like you, Beast.
I'm batting for your guy.
I know you.
You know what?
I want 3 Ds in there. Like.
Birthday boy, you can do whatever you want.
No, I can't get mad at you today. You can do whatever you want, like, but
All right, so next week, before we say goodbye, Friday night footy. This is going to be a cracker. This is going to be a ripper. Carlton versus Sydney on Friday night. Who would have thought?
MCG?
No, Marvel.
No. That's brilliant. MC the Marvel. That'll be
Marvel
good.
Stadium.
That'll be really
It will be
good.
a good game. That'll be a beauty.
Why did Carlton have to go to the Marvel?
I don't know. Good question. But anyway, that's where they're playing, Embers.
Give Travis Alder a call.
Yeah, that's it. Saturday, then it's the Cats and Port Adelaide, which also would be an interesting one. Port, as you say, just getting on a roll at the moment, but they're away. They're in Geelong.
Always
Bit of a
tough to win there.
assignment. Yep. You've done it, though. You were captain of the team, too, when you did it.
One win in 20 years, and I'll continue to talk about it a lot.
Yeah, no,
It wasn't
I know
a
you do.
great day.
Yeah, exactly right. Western Bulldogs and the Suns, 9th versus 12th. North Melbourne and Melbourne will go at it at Marvel Stadium as well on the Saturday. Adelaide and St Kilda, and then it's Richmond and Essendon. Beastie, your boys, any chance against the mighty Tigers?
no.
Right, okay. Thought about it for a second. GWS up against the West Coast Eagles. That starts Sunday's footy action. The Hawks and the Lions could be interesting. I'm not sure about the Hawks. I don't know where they're at the moment.
Yeah, they probably actually surprised me this year. I think they played better footy than I.
A couple of
than
good
I
young
thought.
kids. Jai Newcomb, I think he's eligible for the Rising Star. He's been really impressive.
I think Sam Mitchell's done a good job with that Hawthorn side.
Okay, and then it's the Dockers will be looking after the Dockers and Collingwood game next Sunday afternoon.
A big game for the Dockers. If they want to cement their place in the top 4, they've got to respond after losing to Gold Coast and come back. And they should.
And you think they will?
They should pump Collingwood.
Collingwood are a good travelling team, and they play this ground pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay. So the D's, after this afternoon's game, 16-16, 112, defeated the Eagles 5-8-38. Tommy sit at the top of the table. The Lions one game behind in second position. Then it's a couple of games behind Fremantle, Carlton. Sydney in 5th position, St Kilda in 6th, Geelong in 7th, and Richmond in 8th. Any of Bulldogs, Port, Collingwood, Gold Coast, maybe Hawthorn, any of those slide into the top 8?
Well, Embers wasn't listening before, so now you get a second turn at it.
Go.
I think
Port Adelaide.
Western Bulldogs and Port Adelaide jump in. I think if I'm picking right now, I reckon maybe Geelong could be a slider.
Well, on that,
Geelong in 7th.
Geelong play North Melbourne twice, West Coast twice, and someone else not that good twice.
Geelong,
so out of all the teams, they get those extra guaranteed wins. So that's 4 wins, North Melbourne and West Coast for your season, and you'll need 12 to make it, 13 to make it?
I think so.
Yeah, that's a big leg up for the Cats.
Very interesting times. Hey, good job, team. Beast, you were superb.
Thanks, mate.
Josh, was superb. I won't go through the whole team.
Happy birthday, Lock.
Happy birthday, Lock.
Happy 50th.
Heading home for a big cheesecake, my friends. It's going to be real tasty. I'm having a whole lot all on my own. Anna McFlurry through Macca's just on the drive-through. 16-16, 112. The Mighty D's got the job done over the Eagles. 5-8-38 for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Look at Darcy just celebrating. He's going to be partying tonight. He's a big D's man. Triple M rocks footy.